doer. Yeah.
Oh no!
Matt, what the hell was that?
Wasn't me, coach. Welcome to the straight red card. Get off our lawn.
Words are very unnecessary. They can only
Derek, we're live.
do harm. I know, but hey, something the Reynas might have thought about that song. Words are very unnecessary. They can only do harm. By Depeche Mode.
They published an apology.
I haven't seen it yet.
It was through their agent.
Was that the one through their agent days ago?
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't count.
They mentioned how they said things in the heat of matter and that they were sorry for,
but then they said the whole report was slanted and made them look bad.
You said they went both ways. I agree.
They went both ways, like David Bowie. A turn in the background says, "Welcome back to the straight red card. It's Monday night, and that means it's time to talk balls, jizz, and soccer. Your grandma's favorite trio."
It just ruined everybody's bingo card, by the way.
I know. Christian Pulisic tried to sleep with my wife. No, he didn't. Come on. He has values and morals. He's a good Christian boy. So leave him alone.
He's a good Christian boy.
He is. No, he talked about his faith in that interview quite extensively. Yeah. I'm not making fun of it. I mean, if he wants to, well, enjoy the silence, says David D. Well, we can't be silent, unfortunately, on this show. It's part of the gig.
We can't do that.
You got to fucking talk. So, before we get the show started, let's put up the fucking new bingo cards that, God damn, these are badass, dude. I cannot believe how
Mitch went out.
Mitch is just a badass, dude.
So you make sure you guys go to the channel, go to the handle and get your bingo card. But look at this shit.
I mean, these look fucking great. Derek says cunt. I love it. Colin shows up.
He knows this a little too well.
This is great. Oh, by the way, tonight
Derek argued. No, that's a tough spot to hit. We haven't hit it every now and then, but
we kind of had a couple in the last few shows. Mostly, I was in a.
But the thing is it's boring if we just like, yeah, Derek, I agree, and you're like, yeah, Brett, I agree.
Mostly because I was in a bad mood.
That makes for the best fights, Derek. Come on.
It's like, shut up! I've got something to say. I am drinking tonight the Chimay Grand Reserve. Yes, quite good. Chimay. Unfortunately, I poured it like a moron, and I got like 2 inches of foam going here. So I got to let this thing rest.
I remember my first beer.
You remember it?
It's a movie quote.
I know, but
Beer Fest.
Okay, I was taking it literally. I remember my first
beer. You
beer.
took it very literally, yeah.
You were like 12, 13. When's your first beer, bro?
Come on, I was much younger than that.
10? 8?
It's stereotypical, watching a game with pops and
okay, 5. That's what it was for me. It's like, oh, you want a sip of that? You want a sip of that? Really?
Yeah. My dad was probably sitting there like snickering as his hands. You go, good. It's just like apple juice. Go for it, little guy.
But I mean, the funny thing is, the beers our dads drank were like 3% alcohol. We probably could have finished a whole beer and been fine at the age of 6. Seriously, my dad drank piss water, 3%. It was Mount Rainier, and then we moved, and it was Coors, and then we moved, and he picked a different one wherever we went. Go ahead. You have something?
Yeah, I responded to Mitch by saying, "Hot damn, you went fancy," and then I retweeted it all, saying, "Hey, maybe this will be the week that somebody will win bingo. Probably not, but somebody might."
Now we got to come up with prizes somehow. I don't know how we're going to do that.
I feel like, people are going to be like, we didn't talk about jizz, or we mentioned the word jizz once, and all of a sudden be like, oh, they said jizz. That's American. We're not talking about it, though.
No, I think it's got to count.
Like if you call somebody a jizz rag, I mean, come on. I mean, you're not talking about jizz. You just insult the guy.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty insulting. I mean, because the jizz rag's purpose is just to clean up jizz, so that's not good.
27 has taken his card. He said Colin will show up.
Oh, you think? Colin had talked a lot in the background of Twitter about all kinds of things, mostly music. Oddly enough, we don't talk a whole lot of, more lately, more soccer. But for a while, we were just talking music. I guess he's an aspiring musician. So, I don't think I had much good advice for him, though. I tried. I'm like, dude, you understand? I don't know anything about amps or guitars. I mean, I just bought the shit that I had, and I bought this, and that's what I used. And it just turned out I accidentally bought good stuff. I had no idea that I bought good stuff. By the way, do you know Tetris is going to be made? That's a movie.
A movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Documentary kind of movie, but it's still a docu-movie.
God, what an addictive game to play when you're stoned. Holy Moses, I played hours of that stoned. But
you also grew up during the 8-bit era, so it makes sense.
Yeah, that's the only game available practically.
Besides that and Pong and E.T., but nobody played E.T.
Yeah, E.T. was one of the worst games ever.
Yeah, it bankrupted Atari.
they buried all the games they didn't sell in the desert somewhere.
They did. Yeah, they resurfaced it. Yeah, they found it.
All right, worst.
8-bit Jeff goes, I like Mondays because it's only 5:15 for me. A great time to turn up the volume on the TV and have my wife ask a lot of questions about Derek.
What kind of questions, Jeff?
I believe I wrote, is he single?
Is he single? Yes.
Let's see what he responded just now. He goes, absolutely. More wondering why I'm listening to soccer guys talk about porn and KY jelly. But she's never complained. Hey, maybe she's learned something from watching us.
You got a good one,
Not soccer
Jeff.
related, though.
Yeah, right. Jeff, hold on to her. She sounds like a good one. Okay. Here's a question somebody asked me. What's the worst Beatles song? Worst? Yes. What's yours? Do you have one?
I'm not a huge Beatles fan, so I can't tell you what's a good one to a bad one. I enjoyed some of their hits, but...
How about this? I'll give you my top 3 worst Beatles songs, and you tell me what they have in common.
Wasn't that Smelling Something? Wasn't that a Beatles song you mentioned?
No.
What was that? Who sang that one?
Ooh, what's that smell?
Yeah.
That's Leonard Skinner, I think. Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
Very different from the Beatles.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Yeah. Oh,
never wrote a song about smells.
No, just, yeah.
Maxwell's Silver Hammer, number 1. Bang, bang, Maxwell Silver Hammer fell down. Yeah, everyone hated that. All the Beatles hated it, except for Paul.
Like, what's a Queen song? Body Language, is that what it's called?
I don't know.
It's the one song on their hit, so you would sit there and listen like, why the fuck is this on their hit album? They're like, whatever.
I don't know.
It's garbage or whatever.
He did write that song, Don't Stop Me Now, in response to all of his bandmates telling him, dude, you really need to stop that now. You need to stop fucking all these dudes because there's this thing called AIDS and you're going to get it. And there's this one Russian guy in particular who we know has it and you keep banging that guy. So you need to stop. And then he wrote a song.
About Queen?
Yeah. And then Freddie Mercury came up with those lyrics. Don't stop me now. I'm having a good time. Well, you're not going to have a good time for very long.
Mr. Fahrenheit, yeah.
Yeah. And then there's Octopuss's Garden. Horrible.
We're going to talk about octopus in a second, actually. Octopi?
Octopi, many of them. And then number 3, When I'm 64. By the way, I'm almost 64. I'll be there in 14 years. That's not that old. So will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64? 64 is not old. It's not even a fucking old age.
That's the new 32, right?
New 42. All right. to be more technical. All right. Yeah. S27. Thank you, my brother at 199. Law saying something dumb is another free space.
Ka-ching.
Yeah, I mean.
Although Derek, you've been agreeing with him recently, right? Or somebody has been. I thought it was you. But maybe I'm mixing people up. I don't know.
No, I did agree with him on something, but I can't remember what it was.
It wasn't the Reynas.
No, it was not. No, it was not.
It wasn't the Reynas.
We should probably bring that up now because, yeah. So we did get a comment from Herodotus on my short version of a little picked out version of the last show with 29. And Herodotus said the following. Our brother says, I'm kind of with Reyna and Lawless on women refs. Like, I don't even want to touch that because that's already a bad start. Like, And he says, it's not that important to make it a thing to focus on if they aren't good. I don't think that's quite where Reyna was going with that. They shouldn't be picked just because they are women. Well, I can agree with that. I say let whomever wants to ref, but the highest level, they must be the best choices. I'm fine with all that. But then you say, if women refs can do that, more power to them. But the problem was that's not what Reyna said. Reyna was very general. Isn't there more to this, or did he fix his statement? He fixed it. It used to say specific.
Yeah, that's all.
He changed it. Good for you, my brother. You figured out you didn't say the right thing and you fixed it. Can you do that?
You can edit comments. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Unlike Twitter, you can edit comments in YouTube.
Because he used to say, and that's specifically what Reyna said. No, it wasn't. So you thought about it, Haradas 7, and you fixed it. Good on you, brother. There's no complaints now, mostly with what you said there. All right. See, we got smart people watching our show. All right. We knew that.
I mean, I guess the point is that if you're good, you're good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
if you're good. And we talked about this when we covered it. There are plenty of bad male refs, and we talk about them every time we have a World Cup qualifier match going on. Like, holy shit, CONCACAF has to be the worst when it comes to refs. Absolutely the worst.
And I really don't give a fuck whether they have a cock or a vagina. It doesn't matter to me. You're bad, you're bad. But in this case, that's not what Reyna was saying. He said he was basically saying they're bad because they are women, and can't we get some men? Please? Because men are going to do a better job reffing? I don't know what he's seen. I've seen a lot of bad men refs. A lot of them.
Hold on, I'll come back to you, Dave, in just a sec, but this is fitting. If I don't do it now, it won't be relevant.
Derek doing blow. No, Chris, I haven't done blow for probably last time I did it was probably in my early 30s.
CONCACAF does need VAR, but you know the thing is, all the small island nations can't afford it. But you know what? I feel like Canada, US, and Mexico could probably afford to pay for VAR
they could
for everyone else that they're going to play in the end. Because it doesn't matter about the small island nation that's in like Nations League, League D, that they're never going to face outside of like Gold Cup, maybe at best. But the teams that are coming up that could possibly play in the octagonal this last year, or the oct. Those, I feel like the front three or four even could front the bill for everybody, because I feel like that's going to only benefit the big boys more so than the small boys.
How much does it cost for a couple screens and a fucking tape recorder?
An ex-FIFA representative looking at it going,
give me a foul. Even El Salvador can pay for that. So could Trinidad and Tobago. Easy. And all the bottom oct teams can afford it.
They're paying for the shit already. The cameras and all that shit's already there. They can do this. They just need somebody up there to be able to rewind and rewatch and pause.
It's easy. It's not hard.
Share screen with the screen down on the field so the ref can see it. I mean, come on.
This is not hard. This is basic tech.
Or have US and Mexico and Canada or Canadian officials come down and do that for them. They're already paying them. Might as well pay them, you know?
A basic hotel tech team could put this together for you
100%.
in about 2 minutes.
Those all-inclusive vacation resorts have enough tech in it that they could do that.
Just hire them to come on over to the game.
For one game,
believe
that's all you need.
There are plenty of resorts in Trinidad and Tobago. There are plenty of resorts in, I don't know about Costa Rica. There are some, though. I know there are.
Yeah.
And Costa Rica can afford it anyhow. So if we're talking about the OCT, that is when VAR should start. If you don't want to start it until then, I'm fine with it.
There we go. We can go that route,
If you don't want to start during the Caribbean Championships, I have no problem with that.
Does Grenada really need it? Does Guatemala even need it? Maybe.
Well, no, I mean, listen, because you have all those early qualifying matches to decide who gets in the OCT, right?
Sure.
Even before you get there, you have before the group stage, you have a bunch of those. They don't need VAR for all those tiny little games they play before they decide who gets in the group stage.
I'll tell you this much: if US or Mexico or Canada or Honduras, et cetera, are relying on one call against a tinier nation in that sense, that's where there's a problem there. There's not a problem with, you might have gotten screwed out of a call there, but You should have made up for it in the remaining 89 minutes.
It only takes one game against Trinidad and Tobago.
Fair enough. I'll give you that.
And a bad call to get knocked out of a World Cup. So I would think that.
But that's also in the heck. So
I know. What I'm saying is, I think that's why the bigger countries in CONCACAF should cough up the cash for the little guys like Netherlands and Tillies or whatever, and give them the money to put VAR in place if they don't want to invest in it themselves.
Yeah. That's the thing. Maybe it comes down to a national issue. Like if US want to have VAR playing against tiny nations that wouldn't make that much of a difference, then they can bring the cast over who are going to sit in the booth and watch the replay. They can do it. They're already recording the match. They can hit rewind, fast forward, pause, all that shit. Then maybe it's by a nation standpoint. If we want VAR in this match, we'll front the cost.
Yeah, no, I think
this is a weird topic that we randomly got into.
No, but I don't see why. Yeah, it can't be fixed. That's all I'm saying. I did watch.
Well, hold on. David D does talk about in his experience, women refs do call more fouls and are way more consistent. He sees no problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
consistency is the key.
Yeah, consistency's fine. More fouls is my problem, I guess I have with the statement, because I don't necessarily want a foul called every 30 seconds. Well, I don't need this to be the NBA. I want consistency. You can consistently suck, and I'll respect a ref if they consistently suck.
No, you won't.
I won't get into that. That was going into dangerous territory, but still. But, as long as you suck for both sides.
Men or women.
Yeah, across the board. Come on, guys.
Get to work and start sucking. Right. Jeff Fulton, $10. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. We have enough terrible male refs. Let women fix the problem and manage all matches. I don't know if they're going to fix it, but
we're always told that women are always right. So maybe they will.
Well, the tough thing is a lot of the women refs, just like the men refs coming up through the ranks, are being taught the rules and taught how to handle themselves by really crummy refs. So you're really only just causing more problems. Mm-hmm. You would think that, they would pick only the best. Sucky, $5, says Adam Wiggins. All right. So here we go. Oh, by the way, I watched another one of those people who went to Mount Everest and died things. This is a lady.
Sure.
Yeah. There's a lady named Shreya Shaw, floor fiend, a Canadian, and she was halfway up the mountain, and the Sherpas were like, nah, dude, you're going way too slow. You're not going to make it. Turn around and go down. She's like, fuck you. I paid $100,000. I'm going up and you're going up with me. They're like, oh, fuck. This is not going to turn out good. So they
brought extra hand warmers.
They even gave her extra oxygen because she started using it too early. So she gets up. She's already low on oxygen. She gets to the top and spends 35 minutes partying at the top of the fucking goddamn mountain, taking photos while other people take quick photos and got the fuck down. She stayed up there for 35 minutes. The Sherpas were like, can we go, please? We need to go.
Sherpas are doing this right here.
They're like, push you down, the mother. And of course, she took out a second mortgage on her house to do this shit. And then they're like, okay, we got to go. Finally, she decides to go down. Her fucking oxygen's running out. She gets the altitude sickness. She becomes a complete moron and dies on the fucking mountain. Just dies. And then the fucking show has the balls to say that her trip, even though it ended badly, was an inspiration. Is an inspiration to others. Like, how is that a fucking inspiration? She did something stupid and died. That's not fucking an inspiration. And it said her legacy will lead other to do brave things and to mock and defy, the obstacles. The obstacles in their lives, like the Sherpas, apparently.
The patriarchy trying to save her life.
Her perseverance. I'm just quoting here. This is the dumbest shit I have ever heard. No, she did something stupid. She didn't follow instructions and she died. That is not something to be fucking lauded as awesome. I'm sorry. I can't.
I'll skip my joke there.
Okay.
Yeah, initially, I didn't catch it. Yeah, she died.
Well, she died in 2012. You can make a joke on her now. It's been
Okay, fair enough.
10 years.
You mentioned she after taking 30 minutes of selfies and stuff, she finally went down. And I was like, I'm sure the Sherpas were all for that. Oh.
Oh, God. Well, I always don't understand when they fall down and they can't get up because they're having this sickness. Why not just tie a bunch of rope to their ankles and just drag their ass down? But I guess that's not, you can't do that.
And then rocks up there.
It's too fucking tight, I guess. And there's lots of shit. The same day, 4 other people died for the same reasons. But while they all died, a 73-year-old woman broke the world record and got up and down. No problem. She was Japanese because she
had 0 F's to give, man. She's like, up and down. We're done. Yeah. Well, I mean, in fairness to her, I mean, all the temples in Japan and China have like 1,000 stairs anyways. She's probably used to climbing.
She's in good shape.
Yeah, exactly.
And she listened to her Sherpas.
Yeah.
When they
You're the experts here, as Jonathan puts out. I'm more concerned about the Sherpas. Yes.
Me too. Because
this shit's not worth it, man.
They really don't get paid what they should be getting paid for risking their lives on a regular basis for these half-wit fucking moron corporate nitwits who want to go up and prove that they fucking rule the world on all fucking levels, mountains and corporate. Fuck you. Listen, you got family, you got kids, and you're up climbing some stupid mountain that there's a pretty decent chance you're going to die.
The climbing wall at the local center that you can climb walls at. That's good enough.
I never really understood these people who were like balls out, like, I'm going to be the most healthy fucker. I'm going to conquer everything in front of me. I'm going to climb mountains. I'm going to swim with sharks. I'm going to fucking... I don't get those people. I really don't, because life's not meant to be like a fucking, a crapshoot or what's the thing where you spin the gun and you put it to your head? What's that?
Russian
roulette. It's not meant to be Russian roulette. Life's supposed to be a fucking party.
I saw a fucking video on Twitter today of a guy who had the bullet. Like they showed the video of the guy with the one bullet in there, spun it around, put it in his mouth and pulled it. Nothing happened. But the video ended. I'm just like, Jesus Christ!
What was this on?
It was just on Twitter. It's a random video on Twitter.
Jesus fuck! What's wrong with people?
Fucking nuts! They're nuts.
Chris Gary nailed it. The immoral leadership mountain.
Now we had this question earlier, either on the last show or the show before. Like, when's the next time Greg's going to go to the immoral leadership, whatever it was, seminar? Well, maybe it will be on Mount Everest at the peak, and we'll see what happens there.
Well, the thing with Gregg, and we're going to get into this, is I'm really starting to get the creepers now that, as Yogi Berra said, it ain't over till it's over. I just wonder if we're going to get
That's a main topic. We'll jump into that conversation very soon. Yeah.
It's kind of creepy.
In the meantime, let's talk about our good friend Pete.
Oh, you know what else Yogi Berra said before we get to Pete?
Sure.
He said, you can observe a lot just by watching.
He also said that that's a my picnic basket.
No, that's Yogi Bear.
Oh,
that's
my bad.
Fuck the Ranger, boo-boo. All right, what do we got? Okay. Let's bring it on. All
right, Pete. So apparently actress Margot Robbie revealed in an interview that her favorite football player is Pete. We might not have known this, but he is.
Pete.
Yeah.
Doubt it?
Yeah. She goes, I love watching Pete. I think he's one of the best attackers in the Indian Super League, and he deserves to be in the Tots this season.
What's that mean?
Fuck if I know. His dribbling is just incredible.
Well,
Tots is.
He only dribbles after a long night of drinking. Usually that ends up on his pillow. But otherwise, he hasn't dribbled a fucking soccer ball for at least 4 or 5 months because Pete's been out of commission
Totes
with this.
Is apparently team of the season. Okay, fair enough.
I don't know.
Kevin had a team of the season. It's team of the season. Totes.
Team of the season. I get it. Yeah, okay. Margot been asking to be in one of my films for a while. Especially that remake of what's it? Dirk Diggler Part 2. Did one audition. By the way, I have not heard from Pete. He never replied to my comment to him about, hey, how do you not know what Boogie Nights is, dude? Never heard from him.
You know, it's so happens that
from
Pete, one of Pete's films happens to be a movie called Boogie Nights, and it's with a K though. So,
2. Boogie Nights 2. All right, so
Great Boogaloo, you know, I don't know. Didn't want to audition, so we went another way. I responded with, a black leather couch is a little too on the nose, don't you think?
You could have gone with other
Margo, come in. We'll interview over here. This is an audition. Trust me. Sit down on the couch.
What other black leather was involved? All right. Okay, what else we got? Let's move on to actual soccer topics.
All right. Here's a great one. Luca De La Torre. Well, let me pull this up differently because I'm just going to lose the thing here.
Okay.
So
you're going to lose your thing?
Yeah, I'm totally going to lose it, man.
Glue it on!
So Luca De La Torre is running and he's doing laps and stuff with the team and stuff like that. You may have missed him. He was earlier.
Okay.
But Celtic goes, Luca is sad. Give him octopus. First warning.
What?
So much like most of us, we're sitting here going like, what does that mean?
That's a translation, apparently.
So no. I will say they go into detail. Because somebody posted like, what does that fucking mean? I mean, it was whether it was Tact or Pete. I think it was Pete or somebody said that. What? No, it was Dispossessed. It's Cranks. He goes, what does that even mean? I don't understand what this means. Apparently, there's a video where he went out with the teammates and they had food and he had octopus for the first time. And now, after every good performance, he eats a piece of octopus.
Nice.
Apparently. And the fans love him for it.
Is it breaded?
I don't know.
Fried octopus? That shit's good.
So our good friend Chamberson does this, Brett. He's like, hey, have you guys seen this? I'm like, yeah, I've seen it. So then he posts this video of an octopus that's getting shit poured on it. And it's freaking out. It looks like it's frozen too, man. He's like, oh, I'm coming alive. Look at me go.
Oh my God!
Weird. And I said, I responded with, yeah, that's a hard pass for me.
I will fucking pass on
anything. You. No, thank you.
That shit's still moving. I'm not eating it.
He's like, that. I'm frozen. I'm alive.
Fuck that. Not eating that.
My God.
I will eat the little things that you can fry, but other than that, I'm not touching that shit.
It's just funny. It's like, they're like, Luca is sad. Give him octopus.
That's weird. Hey, remember when Octopussy came out, the movie?
I don't, because I wasn't born at that point. I don't think, when was that? What year was that?
84?
Oh, yeah, I was born. It was a year, so we're good.
Yeah.
I remember 84. 84 was a great year for movies.
I'm sure your parents took you straight out to Octopussy when you were born.
Yeah.
I remember we had
1 years old.
We had this guy named Jack Calabro in West Point. He used to walk around. He's like, have you seen Octopussy yet? We're like, no. He's like, you guys got to go see Octopussy. Seriously, there's some serious pussy in that movie. We're like, really? Yeah, dude, you got to go. You got to go somehow. So yeah, we went. No pussy in the movie. No, none at all.
Octopussy BMR says Octopus came out in 1983. You're pretty close there, Derek.
Okay, I saw it in 84.
And so then I was barely a few months at that point, I'm sure. Maybe. It depends on when in 83. I might not have even been born.
I was 11 or 12. 12, I think. 12. So there you go. All right.
Derek, have you been grooming me this entire time to do a podcast? Is that what we're seeing here?
That word is so overused now. Yes, I have been grooming you.
I've been looking for a person who's 11 years younger than me to be a podcast host with me.
No, literally, when you fall asleep at night, I break in your house and I comb your hair. And then I
what
trim
little
your
I have left.
I trim your beard.
Yeah, I appreciate it. The wife appreciates it too, I'm sure.
I do a little on the pube area too, but that gets you close to waking up. So I back off after a few zip. And I figured that's something that EB would thank me for later, by the way.
Yeah.
Man trimming you. All right. Grooming you. Jacob Ramirez. Dead octopus tentacles move when you put salt or soy sauce on it. Obviously they do. It doesn't make it better.
Unless I'm stranded on a deserted island and that's all I have is an octopus. I'm like spearfishing. Got it.
I mean, yeah.
That's the only time I'm meeting that fucking thing because there's no fucking chance in hell.
Seriously, the head was cut off. We realized it was dead, Jacob. It's just that
I didn't. I still don't know. No,
still disgusting.
Yeah, it's like they talk about like when the human head gets decapitated, it stays alert for like 8 seconds apparently, or something along those lines.
Oh, don't get me started on that, Brett. Don't get me started on the French Revolution. No, don't get me started.
Oh shit, my head's literally detached from my body.
I've read a whole book on that. I've read a whole book on it, and we'll be here all night. So don't get me started. All right, what else we got?
Our good friend Matt Doyle.
Our ex-good friend. I don't know if he likes us
we
anymore.
not good friends anymore? What happened?
I don't know, dude. It's been a long time.
I know a lot. I know a lot of you. The 95 people watching. I imagine 90% of you probably aren't big Matt Doyle fans.
Yeah,
we met Matt. Matt was a nice guy.
Matt was nice. Yeah, he was a nice guy.
But just like anybody, you might have some takes that people don't agree with, right?
Well, he was less controversial back then, and I don't think he got the stage yet when Jonah was the editor there. So he was just kind of along for the ride, if you remember. He didn't say anything during the recordings that we did. So, yeah, it was pretty much Jonah and us, if I can remember right. I think it was just us and Jonah, right? I mean, Matt was in the room, but he
Yeah, that's about it, yeah.
Yeah, but he was really nice. All those guys were really nice. Of course, none of them are there anymore except for Matt. They're all gone. All the guys we knew at MLS are gone.
Yeah.
Except for Matt. So, and I don't think he would remember us anyhow. I doubt it. That's a long time ago, and we haven't really been in touch since we quit.
He's interviewed many people, and
we quit our show
almost a decade. Yeah, it's been about a decade. So
we quit our show and went away, and out of sight, out of mind. Even though we interviewed a lot of his buddies were on our show. We had Jonah, we had who's the other guy we had on from MLS? We had a couple, maybe 3. I don't know. Anyhow, a lot of fun.
We'd have to go back at some point, but I don't know.
Those are the old days. Dudes are struggling with the reality that the vast majority of U.S. men's national team guys really like really like. Love the ambitious way he has had the U.S. play and wants to build on it instead of tossing it in the trash. I'm going to toss something.
It's this right here, these 4 words. That's the reality that the vast majority. It's a reality. Really?
There's no. He has no way to know that.
And he might not be wrong. I'm not saying that he is, but there's
I'm
no
not saying he's wrong, but there's no way he can know it. No.
Yeah.
Especially after, okay, so we did the show with 29, right? And then we talked to 29 after the show, okay? And we can't say anything. Not a word.
Your cover. What's your cover here?
We can't say a word of what he told us. But I can say that even out of Pulisic's mouth, during his interview, which we'll get to later, he said he hated Gregg. He fucking hated him. And that is consistent with what 29 told us, in fact. Now, maybe he's gotten over it since then, and we'll get into that later.
Changed. Who knows?
But I don't know about guys really liking Gregg. They might like him. They might accept him. But I got to tell you, I told you this a long time ago, not a long time ago, a short time ago, I had a professor in school, right? And I didn't like him that much.
Yeah.
I mean, he was annoying at first. Then I got to know him for the whole, first half of the semester. And I'm like, okay, yeah, he's not that bad. He's got a good sense of humor. At least I know what he wants from me. I get his expectations so I can write the papers and get A's. So now I'm kind of like, I'm okay with him, right? I don't love him. He's still a little annoying, but I'm okay with him. And then they come at mid-semester like, oh, he got really sick. We're going to replace him with a new professor. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I don't know who that's going to be. I'd rather have him back because I hope he gets healthy because I want him. At least I know what he wants from me. So you can understand, players saying, well, at least I know what Gregg wants. The new guy, whoever that is, I don't know what they want. So will they like me? Will they like the way I play? Will I get the same amount of playing time? So you always want to stick with the known rather than the unknown. So you can't expect any of these guys to come
comfortable here. Exactly, yeah.
Right. You can't expect any guys, including...
It does help that he's a consistent starter regardless. Maybe that plays a factor, and there's But, no, yeah, 100% is that he understands what's happening with Berhalter. and we're gonna this is a topic that's gonna come up here. We're gonna talk about it. But yeah. That's just with Pulisic because that's one out. But there have been a number of players that have voiced their issues with him. And
yes,
I mean, I always bring up Miazga because he's the only one that's really been vocal about it. It's like, yeah, I don't see eye with Berhalter.
Neither did Hoppy, neither did Holmes, neither did Brooks. A lot of people haven't, and a lot of the people in the Wasserman agency aren't a big fan of his either.
Neither did Hamid. He hasn't gotten a call up since. We know what we know about the Stefan conversation with him during
that went poorly.
World Cup. We know that Pepe hung up on him. So clearly things are key. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure all those players, if Berhalter came back, they'd come back and say like, yeah, you know, he accomplished a lot, and we're gonna move on. But I mean,
you're gonna settle with familiarity.
And unless you have one foot out. I mean, how old is Miazga at this point? What is he, like in his late
26, 27 would be my guess.
Really? No.
Yeah. Earliest 25.
I'm going to have to look that up. Matt Miazga.
25 to 27. Somewhere in that range.
It's 27? Okay, I'll agree. I thought it was I think it would be like 29 or something like that. Because it's like thinking, here we go. We got some people are really on ball with this, man. They're really quick. 26, he said. It was close. 27. But I thought he was like one foot out the door, basically, saying like, you know what, I'm not going to get many call-ups left. I might as well just go ahead and announce it, you know? So.
Yeah. And, you know, in Matt's case, he is a little bit of a, you know,
I'll say.
He doesn't mind rubbing people the wrong way anyhow.
Fair enough.
Let's be honest. Yeah.
No, I'll say Matt looked really good. Despite the fact that the game ended in 3-3 with Chicago, Matt looked really good. He had a couple of point blank stops that prevented Cincy from going down early.
No, he played really well last year until he got injured. But I do want to follow up with that whole thing on 29 and say that Diego, especially if you talk to him after the show and shit that you're not allowed to hear and we can't share, but
obvious reasons.
Yeah. The more he tells you some inside shit, the more you're like, this guy can't possibly be full of shit because there's no way he could know some of the things he knows. There's just no way. There's just no fucking way. And then it keeps being ending up true. So, and there's some things we can't say. I'm like, my jaw dropped.
Well, and I'll say we talked about Pulisic there and his comments on that, and it's possible that both can be right. It is both possible that Pulisic did not like Berhalter. He didn't like him. He hated him, and that's what he heard. But then by the end of the cycle, maybe he's like, you know, I like what's happening here. We're moving forward. We're progressing. You know, because I mean, you have to take into consideration that early on, Pulisic did say, you know, we need to try some new things. This just isn't working. And again, we're going to get into the whole Berhalter treating the national team like a club comment before too long.
I would also add that if you're Pulisic and you're looking at how fucked up U.S. soccer is, aren't you kind of like, okay, it's actually a real chance that Gregg Berhalter could come back? So
you don't say shit about that. Yeah, you just move on. Like,
I mean, you just say the minimally nice things you can say, even though it's going to sound to some people like, you know, you just jerked off in Berhalter's hand. That's not really what happened in that interview, and we'll get to that. This was not a, you know, that. Okay, let's move on. Do we want to start covering that?
Nope, not quite yet. I want to cover a couple things real quick.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard about
the bird is the word.
It's a word.
Bird. All right, go ahead.
So, U.S. Youth International center midfielder Nathan Worth. Have you heard about Nathan Worth yet?
I don't know.
He's a 16-year-old kid that's a standout at New York Red Bulls Academy. He's made seven appearances with New York Red Bulls 2.
I've heard this story before.
And he's turned down a homegrown deal with New York and opted to sign a 2-year deal with Tulsa in USL.
Yeah, that's the norm now.
So
that's the new norm. You don't sign a fucking deal with MLS because you're stuck there.
Yeah. So my comment basically was MLS has to adjust or else lose out on potential money. Would offering him a 3-year deal with a guarantee to sell have worked? Would Red Bulls have placed him on the first team or next pro? We are seeing more of these young prospects signing with USL to avoid MLS outpricing Euro offers.
Yep. And
so
I think
Nathan could sign with New York Red Bulls for that standard 3-year plus 2 extension contract. And then all of a sudden, when he turns 18 in 2 years, deals start coming in like, hey, Benfica's really interested and we're going to offer him $1.5 million. And New York's like, nah, he's worth $8 million instead.
Yep.
And more young players are going, I don't think so. I don't want to do this.
That's why this stupid standard deal that MLS does needs to be nixed. It needs to be, especially for the younger players, they've got to be able to sign 1-year contract. They will find it to be beneficial because, by the way, or 2 years.
2 years. Let's go with 2 years because you have the chance of playing him and then selling him.
Yes.
Whereas 1 year is like you play him and then all of a sudden he's gone.
Right. So, 2 years makes sense. 3 years seems excessive. So 2 years seems like a smarter idea. You can play him for a year. He can ball out. The offers will come. Then you sell him. You get the money from the sale, and you get future money, percentage of future sales. So they need to shorten that.
They need to change it.
It's just too much.
Yeah,
it's just too much.
The standard contract, and I don't know if they've changed it. I haven't really paid attention enough to know if they've changed their standard contracts. But the 3 years plus 2 year option has to go away.
Yeah,
has to go away. They have to adjust. They're no longer the fledgling league that they are. They're producing talent through the academies. They're selling the talent. They're getting South American prospects, and then they're selling them. They have to adjust. Or else they're going to continue losing their youth academy prospects. Like the top prospects are going to go to USL going, well, I'll sign them with a 1 year or 2 year deal with USL just until I'm 18, and then I'll just go for the free,
Yeah.
Because USL doesn't care.
No, they don't. They'll sign him for whatever he wants to be signed for.
They're happy to get the young product. You can sell that young product too. Like sell it to the media and to the market.
I mean, New York's still going to get a cut percentage of that because he did develop in their academy. So they will get a percentage, but
smaller percentage.
All right. Next one.
It's another quote unquote Mickey Mouse rule that has to change, quite frankly.
It's just got to be more flexible. That's all.
Our good friend Larry has a great statement here.
Stop treating kids like pure shit based on WWE narratives. Everyone knows don't sign with MLS because they don't give a fuck about you. I'm not sure that's exactly it, but it's about being a free agent at 18 and signing with whomever you want. Nobody wants MLS dealing with their rights with European teams. Exactly, because you'll be overpriced.
Yep.
More than likely, you will be overpriced.
And it's not a problem that MLS teams overvalue their product. Like, oh, this guy is important to our team. We see him as $3 million, and most European teams are going like, yeah, we got like 3 of those guys in our youth system. And we're not going to pay $3 million for him. So sorry. Yeah,
and then you end up being stuck.
Yeah, 100%.
So there you go. All right, or if you're like New York Red Bulls, usually they've been pretty good about making deals with teams overseas. A good example would be what's his face at Red Bull Leipzig, who never gets to play. I just forgot his name. You know what I'm talking about. He just went to Leipzig from New York Red Bulls.
Caden Clark.
Thank you. Yeah. Here's me getting upset at you for not knowing something or remembering something I can't remember. I love it.
Do it.
Come on, dude.
You're supposed to know this stuff.
Yeah. Surely you can remember because I can't. And Caden still hasn't played a game there. And he won't for some time. Paxton did, but
I was saying, Paxton just got in. That's cool.
Yeah, he got I think like 8 minutes. That's good. But they were pretty handily winning. So
do you want to jump into the Yanks abroad right now, or do you want to?
Yeah, let's just get that over with. So,
all right.
Go ahead.
I'll say let's quickly jump into the obvious one that we'll probably bring up and people want to hear about it. It's probably the Leeds game, don't you think?
Yeah. What the Leeds trying to protect a 3-goal lead? Yes.
So, unlike Leeds, though, because I'm gonna quickly jump back to local. Chicago Fire happened to go up 3-1 in the 46th minute, and then gave up 2 goals in the last 10 minutes to Cincinnati. And this is why I am so reluctant to really kind of like Leeds enough to follow them outside of the U.S. players.
Oh, it's
because
stressful.
I've already got one team that I'm a glutton for punishment for. Do I need to have a second one?
Yeah.
I mean, this is the exact same thing.
Well, you got to stop. At some point, you've had to have built up some sort of cross defense against Chicago.
100%.
Right?
Yeah, no. I always do the bullshit like, this is the year they're going to make the playoffs. And I don't believe it.
At this point, you're kind of like, oh, they lost? I expected it. But Leeds just takes you through a nightmare. The whole game's a fucking nightmare that even though we're up 3-0, I thought, yeah, this ain't over.
I feel like Roca might have actually been paid off to lob that ball over there. Mind you, nobody would have expected the volley for that goal.
Oh, it's perfect.
But I'm like, what was Roca thinking? What was he doing?
Here's what Roca's thinking. I'm going to flick this over there, and there's like at least there's no more than a 4% chance this guy can hit it from there into the goal. And he did.
I mean, just clear the ball if that's your concern, but having to do something, just boot the ball. I don't know who he's trying to play it to. What was he trying to do? But it was just like, it just felt like it was just given to them. Like, here you go. Here's a goal opportunity. Take it. But it was still really unpredicted goal.
Here's a question for you. Are Leeds better with Roca and McKenzie as the pivots?
You mean McKinney?
Are Leeds better with Roca and McKinney as the pivots? Did I say McKenzie again?
You said McKenzie, yeah.
Fuck!
Well, they won, Derek. So, I mean, by that standard alone.
I heard that question asked on a Leeds forum, and I thought, oh boy, here we go. By the way, I told you to pay attention to Aronson when you watched that game, when you did the replay. And Aronson continues to be really good right up until he gets near the box. And then he does the usual virgin shit where he loses composure, starts fiddle fucking around, can't figure out how to pull the panties down and fucking penetrate. And that's where we are. We're in the same spot.
100%, yeah. The stuff he does on the first 2/3 of the field. So from our goal, from his Leeds goal up to 2/3 of the field, he's clinical as hell. Like he's smooth as far as breaking between defense. He's passing the ball.
He's really great at finding really open space.
But when he gets in that final third, it's.
I mean, he's like the 40-year-old virgin. He really is. He gets in there. He just mentally falls apart. His decision making is absolutely atrocious. So you're like, go, Aronson, great play. Yo, go. Yes. Oh, what was that? And then he fucking missed. He fucking totally missed, airballed the shot.
He had that 25-yard, 40 yards over the goal shot too. That Bamford was like, what the fuck?
I know. Did you
speaking of Bamford, man, I feel like Bamford has taken the flopping card away from Aronson and has made it his own at that point, because I swear he is always flopping down to the ground. Now, he gets some contact because he's a 9. He's taking some
a bigger boy, yeah.
But he is absolutely whoa.
Yeah, Aronson
all over the place.
Aronson's improved a little on that, but he's still got a long ways to go. He's still falling down at a breeze at this point. And then there are sometimes you're like, surely that's a call, and it isn't. And you're like, what? Even Joe's yelling at the Just Joe Football's yelling at his fucking screen, going, that's a fucking foul. What the fuck? You know, and I understand why he's frustrated. But Aronson's got to stop this dude. I know he's going to continue playing because I think Gracias rates him. Mike D rates him. So he's going to keep playing. But I just think
it's telling though that multiple managers rate him It's just that he has to pick up. He has to fix certain aspects of his game.
Oh,
if he wants to continue.
At the end of the Marsh era, Aronson was a bench player.
Sure.
Yep.
Probably for the same reason why we're bitching about, but yes, sure.
Yes. And I think that's because Marsh knew him better and knew what he was lacking. Whereas I think Gracias has probably seen some highlight footage and whatever, and probably seen some other footage and think, okay, this guy's got potential. He makes a lot of right decisions until he gets near a box. And then he trembles in fear and the girl runs away. And so that can't continue to happen.
I just like how this has been going on the entire time we've been talking about Leeds.
I'm sorry, it's just frustrating. It really is. And so I'm here watching these games. I'm texting you. You're like, yeah, and I'm at my son's game. I can't watch until later. I'm like, dude, you're never gonna fucking believe this game. You won't believe it until you watch it yourself.
Yeah. So the Phantom PK that was not called against who's on the left? Furpo, yeah. The Phantom PK. What would you have considered that a PK?
I think I eventually settled on, you know what? Fuck it. I guess it is. That's kind of what I said.
I only watched the highlights that they played during the game. I mean, I watched the game, obviously, and then I saw the highlights that they kept showing. I don't think he made contact with the ankle. I think he made contact with the ball, and the ankle went through. So I don't think he fouled him. I think it was a clean play, which is why they didn't call it PK. But that's just me.
How about that fucking what ended up being a straight red card on Ailing? I really thought Ailing had broke his fucking leg.
No, vice versa. Ailing had his
ankle broken. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I really thought Ailing had his leg broken.
It was like a 45-degree angle in the opposite direction when he got stomped on.
It was 100%.
Yeah.
One of the worst tackles I've ever seen.
It wasn't a straight red card, Derek. It was his second yellow.
Yes. Well, he gave him a yellow. Then they called him to VAR. He looked it over and he came back and gave him another yellow.
He already had a yellow. And he came back, gave him a second yellow, and then gave him
Rewatch it. He only gave him a yellow for that tackle the first time. Then VAR called him. He went and watched the screen, went over.
It's possible I missed it. I won't lie.
Then he came back and said, that's a second yellow and a red. You're out.
I watched this as going to bed one night. So
okay.
I may have glossed over it, but I could have swore that he was already on a yellow, and then he came back and gave him a second yellow, which was the red card.
But you probably missed it in between hand jobs.
Probably.
All right.
That could have been it, Derek. You might be right on that.
Yeah, you never know. All right. Scally played, by the way.
Got tired, though, Derek. So
what? Oh, it's a self-hand job. Okay. I was giving you more credit than that. All right.
That's what made it funny, Derek. Come on.
All right. Scally went 90. Pulisic went 62. I thought he played okay. I like his confidence. I like Pulisic's confidence.
I didn't get around to watching it because the weekend got the best of me. My daughter took me away from my Sunday time to watch it because Jackson was off at a birthday party. So I didn't get to watch much soccer on Sunday. But I heard Pulisic was arguably one of their best offensive presence for Chelsea.
Well, and all your time taken up by waxing the Dolphin too. So Stefan,
that's Monday. That's any day ends in Y, Derek. Come on.
Stefan went 90 in a win. Sargent 90 in a tie. Horvath 90 in a tie. Gooch was back again, 20 in a tie. That was against Horvath, by the way. Weah left the game after 90 minutes with a concussion. That's why he's not going to be with us in Grenada.
I'm fine with that, quite frankly, because as great as we can see him, I think we'll be perfectly fine without him. And I'd rather him get healthy.
And Mihalic gets to join.
100%.
John Brooks, 90 in a win. Hey, man, John Brooks actually played well.
He had an assist, correct?
Kinda. Okay. He caused the free kick because he headed a ball onto somebody's arm or hand, was it? I can't remember. But he actually played well. He played well. Don't think we need Gooch updates. Oh, you don't want to hear about
Where's he plays for Sunderland? Right?
Sunderland?
Yeah, where they at in the table?
Championship.
Where are they on the table though?
Near the top 8, I believe. They might get promoted. I think they're in the top. All right,
that's the point, I guess, is that usually we talk about, let's see here. Sunderland's 11th right now.
Okay, they're still in.
So they are what, 6th place is the playoff spot, I believe. So they're about 7 points out. So most likely probably won't get promoted. But it's possible though.
They were closer earlier in the season.
Yeah. And Gooch, I think he requires some interest. I mean, he's a good player. I thought he was a good player when he went to League One. I was like, that sucks for him. Man.
You know how old he is now, though?
No,
it's like 27, dude.
He's in Glasgow, huh?
Yeah.
Happens.
Paredes
probably isn't worthwhile.
So we could skip him. You're probably right. Kevin Paredes,
respect.
30 in a win for Wolfsburg. Reyna 20 in kind of meaningless minutes.
Well, they're already up 5-1 when he came in.
5-1, yeah.
And they had a couple of chances afterwards, but they didn't finish them. Which who cares? It's 5-1 at that point. But I mean, I thought it was pretty much a meh game. Like, what is he going to do?
Yep.
And nobody's pressing up with him. They're just moving the ball up like they normally would. It was okay. He didn't do anything bad.
He didn't do anything bad. He didn't like anything up either. Luca De La Torre continues his streak as a starter. 70 minutes in a win.
That octopus, yeah.
And they're eating that octopussy. And they are clear of really any chance of relegation at this point. However, Musa, they lost. He went 60 in a loss. They are down to 17th, looking really sketchy. And I can't believe he's on Valencia and Valencia. This is Valencia. They are always somewhere near the fucking top of the table. Not the very top, but somewhere.
What device do you have in your hand that's glowing right now?
That's my cock. Brian Reynolds, 90. Oh. Brian Reynolds, 90 minutes in a win. Taylor Booth back from injury, 30 minutes in a loss. They need to get him starting again because Utrecht have been really poor without him. Alex Mendez, 30 for Vizela and the winning assist. Benji Michel in 18 for Aruca in Portugal. Haji Wright, 90 in a loss in Turkey. Julian Green scored the first goal for, and he went 30. Yeah. So that is for our good friends at Firth. And Maximilian Dietz, who often gets overlooked, got his first 5 minutes in the team, Firth, the first team for Firth.
Cool.
Terrence Boyd, 45, was pulled off at halftime. Not sure if it was an injury to his left testicle or he was just pulled for poor play because he was not a good half. Tessman, 90 in a win for our good friends Venezia. Novakovic went 30. Busio did not dress. He might be injured. I heard he had elbow herpes. Sebastian Salcedo, the one-trick pony, in the 18 for Toluca. Tillman, 25 last minutes for Rangers, scored. So Tillman's not injured then. He's not injured. That was one of the reasons he didn't make the team.
All the players that Brian mentioned. So CCV, Tillman, Sargent.
They're not injured.
And I'm missing somebody else there. But they were injured / recovering is what Hudson described it as.
Well,
so it
they
was one
seem
of those things,
recovered.
Like he just came back from injury. So we're going to call somebody else in and let them recover, let them regain their status with the club. Is what the interpretation is. I'm not saying that's 100%.
Just
accurate.
went 90.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's accurate. I'm just saying that's what they decided.
Well, here's
like, hey, we can always bring him back in. Let's let them regain status with the club.
Regain status. Why? During the international break?
Sure.
There's no games to be played.
I know.
So I just think, let's just be honest and accurate, as you said, instead of feeding us a line of horse shit because CCV went 92 in a win. That doesn't seem like a guy who has a strain.
Well, I guess it depends on when they're calling them up and when they're deciding to. Like, literally, if you're making your decision for your roster and you're saying, well, this guy is finally like, I'm making my roster. Here's my center backs. I'm going to call CCV up, but he just came back from injury and he hasn't played a minute yet. So I'm going to call somebody else in. I mean, at that point, that's all you have to say. I mean, the problem is you make the roster announcement, and then all of a sudden he starts playing 1-2 games where it's like 90 minutes. And all of a sudden, you look like the fool.
I heard during the call with CCV, he said he was fine and he wanted to play, and then his crew, at Celtic, put out some shit and some tweets saying he was not happy with that. He was not happy with that decision. He was fine to play, and he wanted to play. All right, I'm just saying.
I feel for him and all that stuff, but I mean,
it's not a huge loss, but
I can understand from the coaching standpoint. Like, hey, we're looking at El Salvador, we're looking at Grenada. We can play. We have other players who can play the position for the time being. Let's let you get healthy. I'm perfectly fine with that mentality. This isn't a World Cup qualifying.
I'm fine, Brett, if it's true. It doesn't seem like it's true. It doesn't seem like CCV was injured.
He may have been injured at the time when they made the roster, is the thing, though.
But
you make the roster and you're about to announce it like next Wednesday, and all of a sudden he's playing Saturday. All of a sudden you look like the fool again. I'm
just saying CCV says he's fine. And
every player's going to say they're fine to play.
All right, I'm just telling you, his people weren't happy. Hoppy, 20 minutes.
Don't disagree with that.
Harks, 88 for Dundee United, who are going down in the Scottish Championship. Kind of like somebody else went down on his dad. Marlon Fossey. What?
Oh, okay. I'm with you now. Okay. Okay. That was a really weird way of wording that, Derek. I was like somebody else went down on his dad. I'm like, wait.
Well, who is his dad?
Are we talking about it? And I know we were talking about it. That's what it finally clicked. So I'm just saying that was a weird way of wording it. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we got a what? What? Wait. Hold on. So clearly, I wasn't the only one misheard this.
Well, it's a riddle, and most of you will figure it out. Marlon Fossey got a goal for Standard Liège, which is usually one of the top teams in Belgium, but he is starter, and he does play regularly for them at right wing back. And then he did like multiple fucking flip-flops. Oh, no! Yeah. Oh, no, you're... All right, go ahead.
Oh, my God, it's an earthquake.
It's the Star Trek. Oh, we're under attack. We're under attack. All right.
No, I was gonna bring that video.
All right, go ahead.
I was gonna bring that video up of Marlon doing all the flips.
Yeah.
But I refuse to do that because unlike your Lawless video, I didn't want to get dinged for this.
Yeah, fuck that, dude. Yeah. Des did not dress. What? No shocker there.
Yeah.
Chris Richards in the 18, EPB 90, and they got a tie, so that's better than a loss. They're still in the drop zone. P Fox 67 didn't do much. Paxton Erickson 7, so at least he got in the game. Emergency evasive, yeah. Emergency evasive action. It's a trap. All right. Sam Vines is back in the 18, so he's semi-healthy. Pepe went 90 in a fucking lost cause. Groningen are going down, people. They are going down. The good news is Pepe doesn't have to go. Pepe does not go down with them.
On this side of the table, nobody cares.
Yeah. Yeah, don't care. Mihailovic 12 in a loss. Cannon
called up. Yep.
Cannon played. I don't know how much time. I almost didn't care. Sebastian Soto did not dress for Klagenfurt. Did not dress for Klagenfurt in Austria.
Yeah, to that point though, like how long until we drop him from the list?
I only do it because I like saying Klagenfurt. It's
funny.
Yeah. Klagenfurt. He can't play for Klagenfurt.
It's not like he's going to get promoted from Turkey too, right? Like what's his face? The kid that's going to get promoted.
Oh,
so you love saying that. I'm like, I think it's a fake name.
He already did get promoted. He's with Ankaragachu. They do play in the Turkish first division now. Oh. That's Jaboli Erayibi. He's injured. He's injured currently.
Aww.
Yeah, too bad. Yeah, it's a real shitter. But, Klagenfurt, that's like a small little fucking town in Austria. He can't play for that town where they got butchers.
The guy needs to come back and play at USL at this point because he's not playing anywhere else.
Dude, he must.
I don't think he'd make it in MLS.
Oh, he'd be playing in USL.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
at best, maybe championship could be League One. Zendejas, 30 minutes, and a big win for his team.
I wanted. Well, I guess while we're talking about Zendejas, I want to bring something up here real quick. I was going to bring it up in the upcoming segment with the starting 11, but. Did you catch Hercules Gomez talking about the situation with Mexican Federation and Zendejas?
More? The situation's done.
No. The butch job that they did here.
Oh, the butchering job. Yeah, they fucked up.
They
fucked up. They fucked up. They gave them all these papers to sign. They're like, what the fuck is that shit? Yeah.
Yeah. So here it is, right?
All right.
Just how bad the Mexican Football Federation botched this. They essentially tried to manipulate the situation, try to get him to sign a one-time switch by disguising that it was a one-time switch. And from my understanding, they did this while he was about to walk on to the team bus.
Real quick, though, why would they have to disguise it? If he wanted to play for Mexico, why would they disguise a one-time switch?
Yeah, and then if you saw him in the interview today on U.S. Soccer, Zendejas like, no, they just threw a bunch of shit in my face. I ain't signing that shit.
Yeah. Exactly.
For a playoff game, Club America versus.
He's about to get on the bus. Like, hey, quickly sign this. Sit down, sign this.
Sign this.
They never mentioned the words one-time switch. They never mentioned the word FIFA. They never mentioned that it's binding. It's a very long document, and Zendejas very carefully and rightfully says, "I'll take a look at it later." But he immediately informs his representation.
I mean, smarter than most people are, because you're thinking to yourself like, "Hey, here's the federation coming to ask you to sign something. Oh, God, I'll just go ahead and sign it." But he's just like, you know what? I'm getting on the bus. I'll look at it later. Just give me my representative.
Yeah, you're playing me dirty, man. You're playing dirty with me,
shady as shit, man. Good Lord.
I mean, listen, if you're a Mexican American and you saw that, and then you heard the Jonathan Gonzalez story, and then you're looking at guys, who's the LAFC dude that committed Efren, and then you've got the goalie. Ochoa, thank you. I can't remember.
Araujo is actually getting called up finally because he's down to Barcelona B. But
dude, they all fucked up. Dude. That's all I gotta say.
And that's maybe Araujo stands a chance there, but man, Ochoa, man, he's
his career.
He's probably second guessing that shit now.
I don't think.
Obviously, I think Gonzalez definitely second guessing that shit.
David Ochoa is not a kind of guy that second guesses anything. And I would guess he barely first guesses anything either. He's on top of second guessing. So I don't think he thinks much. So that's the problem. He's all emotion. He's a bundle of fucking emotion. That's his problem.
It's absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts that the Mexican Federation actually tried to pull that shit off.
I mean, it's criminal, really. It's disgusting.
It's like, hey, don't worry about the small print here, but just sign right here if you don't mind. No, don't read it. Don't read it. Just sign it. No,
this is just all this says is that we will send a really hot porn actress to your hotel room every night before the game. That's all it says. Just sign here.
I would sign.
Make it happen. I know. And then you'd be committed to the Mexican team, Brett.
Well, I guess the problem there is maybe I wouldn't get called back up, so then they would never have to send a Mexican porn actress to my room. So I'm like, they got me. I
don't even know if the porn actress has to be Mexican.
That's I think you specified that. Well, maybe I didn't. Porn actress and anything, whatever.
No, porn actress in general.
Maybe he's got a kink. Who knows?
I really don't know much about the Mexican porn industry, to be honest with you. Could be really a hot scene that I just missing. Balogun went 90 and got another goal. There is hope. He is, however, going to go play for the English U21s. Although he put out that tweet that said, "Go where you're wanted," and I thought, "Yay!" And then you're
never get your hopes up at this point.
Yeah, I'm not going to get
where he's wanted is apparently the U21s. I don't know.
I mean, that's weird.
And the English national team ended up having to drop a couple players like Rashford and somebody else. I forgot who it was. Was it Mount? I don't know. It was somebody else, and they weren't going to call anybody else up.
Yeah, that's always.
I feel like that's kind of
dirty.
Another slide. Let's all flood his Instagram with that slide again. Hey, Southgate's not even calling you up after getting rid of Rashford and everything.
Hey, everybody, go to Balogun's Twitter and continue to remind him that we want you. They don't. They're treating you like a little 2-bit whore who gets to go play in the little boys league. We want you on the big boys team. All right. Sam Vines in the 18, so he's back. I think I mentioned that. Oh, Reem and Jedi went 90 in a red card riddled game. I heard that Gio-Reyna may follow one time. We're getting to that.
We're going to get to that.
We're going to get to that. Yes. Reem and Jedi played 90 minutes of what ended up being a hellish game where Mitrovic lost his fucking mind.
What a stupid fucking play
and basically half assaulted a referee, and he's going to be banned for up to 6 to 7 games, they're saying. So that's almost the rest of the season for Fulham.
So fucking dumb.
So stupid.
Count Europa likely out of the equation there.
Yeah, and even after he got the red card, he still went after the ref, and Reem practically had to tackle his ass to get him off of the ref and get him to leave the field. That's how pissed off Mitrovic was. It was a clown show.
Do you think the amount of games that he might get banned from, in a sense, stemmed from his reaction after the red card? Because at that point, if your red card,
it's before.
Might as well. That's like I'm saying. If you already got the red card, you might as well go all in on it. You know.
Yeah, but then you're talking more red card,
you know,
more game bans, more game bans.
That's what I was asking you. You're like, no, it was before the red card.
No, it was his foul. His foul on the referee. Yes. They got him. The red was before he got the red. That's what I'm saying. So.
Yes, I agree with you on that. I was asking if his reaction after he got the red added to his potential game ban.
I don't think most of the physical assault was done before the red card. That's why he got the red card. He fucking assaulted the ref. And the ref was like backing up, and Mitchell was like right in his face. He's backing up like, holy shit, this guy's lost his fucking marbles. Like, that ref did not stand up and say, hey, don't get in my face. He backed up. He was like, oh, God, this guy's lost his fucking mind.
Yeah.
All right. A few MLS standouts I want to mention. Caleb Wiley had a goal and assist for Atlanta, but outside of that, I didn't think he played that well. And it's one of the only MLS games I watched.
Everybody's talking about him. I didn't get to watch the game, so I don't know. But
I
saw his highlights, so that's all I know.
Let me clarify. He didn't play poorly at all. I thought he played bang average. I think that when he had his opportunities, he took them, and there's something to be said for that. I'm sounding like Lawless now, but there is something to be said for that. So, but let's not, throw a fucking goddamn
space on the bingo card saying Derek says something stupid.
Well, that'd be every fucking show. Hey, so let's not throw a parade for him yet. Let's calm down a little and see how the season develops. DeJuan Jones, an assist. Tolkien, another assist. Tolkien. Some guy named Duncan McGuire got an assist in a loss. Let's see. Brendan Vasquez, an assist for Cincy.
Brandon
Vasquez.
There you go.
Brian Gutierrez, another assist for your homeboys in Chicago.
Not only an assist, but he's also the one who slotted the pass for that drew the PK. So, I mean, he had an amazing game. And for whatever reason, Chicago's punditries decided to give the man of the match to Mueller. No idea why.
So did Pete. He put him in 10.
No. He had his first 20 minutes of the game. He sucked royal donkey balls, and then he picked it back up. Yeah. And he had a solid enough match. Don't get me wrong, but Gutierrez was constantly dangerous the entire match. He had an assist, and he's the one who slotted the play for the PK.
But there's no reason he didn't get in Pete's top 10.
Whatever. No.
Gutierrez
is looking good. I'm just saying that, and he looked more dangerous than Shaqiri has for Chicago for a while.
I also heard after the game he did the biggest champagne beer bong.
Why wouldn't you after that shit? Yeah.
On the
hell
team.
Of a fucking match.
Leggett got an assist. I know you want to hear that. Gio Caccini scored a goal, and that is what David D is saying here. Yes, he did. Cole Bassett had a goal for Colorado, and Julian Gressel got an assist for Vancouver. I would never bring up Gressel, Bassett, or Leggett ever again, except for the fact you just never know. It's U.S. soccer. They might still get called up. fucking nuts. All right. What were we going to move on to? We were just kind of joking about it, weren't we?
Well, are we done with the we're done with the MLS, so we're going to branch off into the starting 11 for the US.
No, I thought there was one more thing we were going to cover there. What am I missing here?
Oh, I've got some potential news here, I guess.
Okay. Oh, I thought we had another video. No, we had the thing.
Apparently, the Lee Hacksaw. Yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah, we were laughing about it.
Scenes when Hudson gets a job and reveals that it was he who sowed the discord between Reynas and Berhalters. Chaos is a ladder. That's always fun.
It's not true.
No, 100% not.
Obviously not.
Let me share the audio before we click on that. Of course,
this is hilarious. This is sent to me by the turd personally, so I appreciate it. Because Lee Hacksaw is, first of all, I want to say there's 3 minutes of complete misinformation that he goes into prior to this misinformation. So if you haven't seen the whole thing, go watch it just so you just shorten your pants a little laughing. Because I tell you what, it is full of. By the way, did you know that that Gregg Berhalter's wife punched him? Never says punch in the report, and she probably did punch him. But
no, it was probably a slap and smacks.
And then he says, and after she punched him, he kicked her in the leg. No, dude. He pushed her down to the ground and then kicked her in the leg twice. If you're going to report, and he says, I read the whole report, and I quote, says Hacksaw. No, you didn't, dude, because you wouldn't be making shit up if you.
Well, let's also not leave the important part. He kicked her, he pushed her down, kicked her twice in the legs. I'm not sure.
And then got
tackled. Who knows what would have happened if that good Samaritan wasn't walking by at that exact moment?
All the rumors are the guy that tackled him was the football player she was dancing with earlier in the night. Yes.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't put Berhalter's career in question after that, because he probably broke his back.
And all the rumors are that they actually know who that tackler guy was, but nobody wants to bring him into the story. All right, so Hacksaw here is just gone off on this whole thing about the Berhalters and the Reynas, and now he's got this massive conclusion at the end about what could happen going forward. Here we go.
You'll never guess, but I guess the church sort of let us know. But here we go.
Oh my God, this is terrible.
He should be rehired. I wish that had never happened. So it'll be interesting to see if they bring him back. Berhalter retains the job.
100%.
How can you have a relationship with the Reyna family?
You wouldn't have
and
to.
And the wild card in the whole thing is Reyna is dual citizenship. He could go.
Well, real quick, I can say, where's it going to go? But I do need to cut it there.
We're not going to get hit for this.
Well, you never know.
Rewind it a few seconds then. Give it a little leeway.
Yep. But yeah, he's like, whoa, how are you going to deal with the Reyna family? We don't have to.
You know what? If we get punished for using this clip, I'm driving to fucking.
We get more views on this show within the hour than he gets on his whole show. I think he should be happy that we're pushing content.
I'm driving to Hacksaw's house if that happens and jump punching him. That's all I'm saying.
I say.
Whole thing is Reyna is dual citizenship. He could go play across the border for Team Mexico, and then
Mexico.
But
Team Mexico.
Team Mexico. Isn't that's the phrase? That's the joke from God damn it, Super Troopers. Where it's like, they think I'm Mexican. You're not Mexican. He's got a little bit of a tan. You think he's Mexican? What?
When did Reyna's mom become Mexican? I don't.
Well, I think it's more to do with Claudio. Claudio would be deemed the quote unquote Mexican in this scenario, wouldn't he?
Just because he's Latin.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
That's ridiculous. This guy's
everybody south of the border is Mexican.
I mean, this guy is such a massive clown. Why does he bother covering U.S. soccer? Because he's so bad at it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, like 50 people watch the show, so I guess it's okay. But it is hilarious. This is like comedy, I guess. That's how I should look at it, mostly. All right, let's move into what you wanted to move in, but we got to get Hacksaw
I guess
here.
where he's at on this. He's got 15 views in the last 6 hours. You're welcome, Hacksaw. We added at least one, maybe two.
You know what?
You watched it too.
Yeah, in 12 days 12 hours he'll have 30 views. at this rate.
You're welcome.
Way to go. What a rate. Hey, I mean, not like we should be bragging because our shit is taking a hit. Big hit on YouTube because of our cursing. So, they don't put us up as much as they used to.
Derek, today's show, I turned on monetization before we started.
Yeah.
And we did not go to limited immediately. Maybe we're heading the right direction. You never know.
Wow, really?
The last couple shows I've done that, and it's gone auto limited.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. That's like when I put that show up, that little snippet thing up. I mean, I had just loaded it, and it immediately went to no monetization. Sorry, fuckwad. Good luck. I'm like, why? Why?
You've used Lawless's face too much here.
You over-Alexied your video.
The funny thing is if you guys have watched the clip, it literally is a clip from our live stream, and our live stream was not docked.
No.
So clearly, what that indicates is that the algorithm has gone through and found out there was some copyright infringement potentially on Derek's short clip, rather than diving through our whatever at that point was probably like
2
60
hours.
minutes worth of show before we even got to that point. So
they're
like, oh, we're not gonna hit that on that, but yeah, Derek posted that clip and automatically dinged with the copyright claim.
Unreal,
That
unbelievable.
sucks.
All right, we're supposed
rightfully so though.
I guess. I mean, we got to pick a starting 11, and I guess what we should start out by saying is it ain't going to be the 11 you think, because I don't think it's going to be a regular starting 11. I think versus Grenada, you just play like some of the kids or the younger people or the potential people, right? Is that what we're thinking?
Kind of second teamish. Maybe there'll be some starters, but yeah, second teamish. You would think so?
I don't think Pulisic's going to start. I don't think the first game Pulisic's going to start. He may come in for the last 20 minutes. I don't think he's going to start.
I'll be impressed if Hudson goes that route, but yeah.
You think U.S. Soccer has figured out that Tim Weah has a concussion yet?
Yeah. Well, this was from the original announcement.
Yeah,
so
they should
scratch Weah out, and then throw in Georgie. So
I thought we were going to cover Pulisic before we did this.
We can.
Let's do that.
Okay.
That's better.
Oh, wait. I need to get audio again.
Yeah. So people are out there. They're all like, hey, see? Christian Pulisic is endorsing goddamn Gregg Berhalter. All right. Did he really? Or, oh, by the way, the guy that, and you said this too, the guy that does the interview is so ingratiated by his own fucking words.
Be true to your nature.
I mean, the guy does not know how to do an interview at all. That fucking Lex Luger motherfucker looking.
Guys, go and I'm assuming everybody in the chat has already watched it, but go and watch it. But basically, here's how it went. It's like, so let me make sure. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you are.
But I'm about to anyhow.
You didn't like Berhalter at first, but then you really started to like him, and he went to your dance recital, and then he started playing you a lot, and then you guys won a couple tournaments. Is this about accurate? And he's like, yeah, 100% accurate. This is like
one of the worst interviews I've ever seen.
Is like here's the question that would encompass that is like, what are your thoughts on Berhalter as a coach? And then let him do the shit.
How about not
that you're listening to his content, not your leading?
How about not framing every question with a 5-minute fucking goddamn pontification before you ask him the question, which kind of is like you've already built all of the underground, the underbelly of the question is already presumptive. And so he can only say basically what you're saying, but he's just going to say it in his own words.
Yeah.
Which aren't going to be much different than yours. What was the point of this interview? That is a really good fucking genuine question, Kate. And thank you for being one of maybe 2 or 3 women who watch this show.
We appreciate it.
We really do.
Yeah.
We love women and all the ladies.
Making it weird, Derek. Let's move on.
No, just in a normal way. A normal.
No, but yeah, her point stands.
Yes.
In the sense that this interview is literally a bunch of leading questions, and then it is all. I honestly think that maybe the whole point of this interview was really to kind of prep the fan base that Berhalter was coming back.
Maybe. Yeah,
I really do think that, because it's like Berhalter's done nothing wrong, right? And he's done everything great, and he's did this, and you have Pulisic, who's team captain more or less, saying, "Yeah, he really grew on me. I didn't like him at first, but I liked what he's done, and we moved on, and we kind of want to just move on with the whole thing, and continue building off of the performance that we've developed over the last cycle. We don't need to start from scratch." And I don't know, the whole thing just kind of screams, "Hey, be ready."
Now, what it screams as is a scripted interview that he already knew the questions, what they were going to generally be, but that guy couldn't fucking help himself but pontificate like a fucking moron forever and ever before every question. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I don't even know who this guy is. He's got a British sort of accent.
Why couldn't Herc or
Northern Ireland sort of accent or whatever it is? I think he probably loves listening to himself talk, but it doesn't do any of us any good, this interview. There were like small chunks worth watching. Other than that, it was crap. And I was actually more focused on fucking Pulisic's eyebrows and how furry they were than I mean, I couldn't help it. They are the most fullest eyebrows I have ever fucking seen. And if those things ever connect into a unibrow, and I guarantee you they will, because he is one hairy motherfucker. This guy can grow a beard like a fucking 80-year-old man. I'm telling you, this guy is one hairy fucker. And I bet you he has to shave his chest, his fucking neck, his back. He's going to be a hairy beast, this guy. But I will give Pulisic credit. He really sounds like a confident, grown person now. He doesn't sound like a timid young boy that he used to sound like. Send me the link, Derek, to what? The hairy parts? I don't have any links to those.
No, I think Diego wants to join the conversation right now.
No, we can't do that. Not this late in the fucking show, my friend.
Hey, dude, we're at 127 already, man.
We're wrapping this shit up. I'm not going to be here for another fucking. I'm not doing another 2-hour show with Diego.
We'll get you back on, don't worry, man.
But we'll reschedule.
But yeah, no. Al had mentioned, goes no. And what Al said, a good PR agent would not have let him do this.
I don't think it hurt him that much because.
Well, you don't.
How did it hurt him?
Twitter? There's a number of people on Twitter that have turned on Pulisic after this.
What, for being pro Gregg?
More or less, yeah.
That's not fair. I mean, that's overemphasizing how pro Gregg he was.
Yeah. No, I agree, and I think the topic of, I think he gives Gregg his due diligence, as far, not his due diligence, but his means. He accomplished what he accomplished. We have a team that's moving forward. And he doesn't want to kind of rock the boat. Is basically the way I take a lot of this.
Yeah, it's not like this is a re-endorsement where he's like, yes, you got to bring Gregg back. The guy basically says, if Gregg comes back, are you okay with that? And he says, yeah, I'm fucking fine with it.
Yeah.
What's he supposed to say? No.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
If he comes back, I'm going to hang myself in my closet. What is he supposed to say? I mean, this is ridiculous. Of course, it's going to sound like an endorsement any way you do it because you can't shit on Gregg at all. He did say he fucking hated him. He did say he was pissed at him at certain times. But in the end, he said, Gregg built this wonderful team with this great atmosphere and this great camaraderie that we have that Gregg let us have and build.
So,
okay.
We'll get into this, I guess. But I think a lot of this stems down to the fact that most of these kids played together as kids growing up.
I already know each other.
Yeah. So it's just like Gregg's instilled this entire system of us being together and being one unit. I'm like, no, you guys have played for the bulk of the last decade together, growing up. I mean, in 2 different cycles, but still.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'll go back to this metaphor. Let's say you're in a chamber at the bottom of a castle back in the 1600s, right? And the same guys come down every day, and he does the basic torture stuff on you to get whatever out of your mouth and say what you got to say so they can condemn you and send you to the gallows forever or whatever. So the same guy's coming down, and he's inflicting the same amount of pain, but he's fairly nice. You know, you don't like him because he's inflicting pain or he's doing shit you don't like, but The next day, they come down the stairs and said, by the way, we've got a new torture guy coming today. You ready for that? You're like, no, dude, I really like the guy you've been sending down for the last month. I really prefer that guy. I don't want a new one. Can I just have the same first name basis, guy? Please. Yeah. Don't send a new torture guy because I don't know about that guy. He could be bad. You know, he could, like, I'm used to the finger twitching thing, but this guy, he could do the thing to my balls.
The first guy's fingers are very slender and small, you know. I don't know what the second guy's going to be like. Is he going to be a butcher's hand?
Am I going to lose a limb with this new guy? So, yeah, you're going to stick with what's familiar, and you're not going to bash the dude because it's very possible at this point that Gregg could be back. It's not beyond the pale that Gregg would be back. And it's looking more and more like that every day, frankly.
And as much as we complained about Berhalter and his inflexibility throughout the cycle, and I think that was prevalent, I think that's a talking point that has not been countered by any means. He's been flexible the entire cycle, but he became flexible during the World Cup, and that's when it mattered. And the same thing that Klinsmann did, quite frankly. You know, Klinsmann was unbelievably flexible throughout the cycle, and then became a little more sturdy and stiff towards the World Cup. But
yeah, he did.
But I mean, the Pulisic's point, maybe at the point, you know, like, hey, this is working. It's fine. He's letting us do our thing. We're getting more or less the right people here. We got a core group. Don't need to bring a bunch of new people in. You know, it's
so. Al, ask a question here though for $1.99. Thanks, Al. What did Pulley gain? As his agent, I don't think you go into every request for interview asking what you could gain necessarily, but I think it's more of a defensive measure, right? Usually as an agent, you're like, what could we lose if we let Herc interview this motherfucker? Okay, we could lose a lot. If we let...
Because that was my comment earlier. I was like, why didn't Herc or Seb take this interview, quite frankly? This is with ESPN FC, and we're interviewing a U.S. player, so why not?
Well, you know they don't like that shit. And so even though Gregg agreed to do the interview with Herc, they only did that because Gregg said, I don't care what he said. I know he doesn't like me. I'm going in anyhow. We got to show strength here. Fine. Okay, so they went in and did it. But here you have his agent saying, well, there's nothing to lose. Everybody's asking for access here. There isn't necessarily anything to gain. So we're going to pre-prep the show and make sure none of the questions are outrageous. And we're going to have this dumb fucking bald fuck that we're going to bring in to do the interview. And everything's going to be fine. So the question here is about deflection rather more than what do you gain. It's as an agent, you're making sure you don't do anything to lose. Like you're not saying anything dumb or you're not causing controversy. And as long as you're doing that, allowing access is something you just have to do on occasion. So I think that's what we're looking at here. Diego says Pulisic's full 180 on Gregg had nothing to do with Gregg. No, I agree with you, Diego. We've been saying that in some ways here. It's just about being mostly just being polite. But
do you think this stance that with Pulisic's thing as a whole is trying to more or less mend the rift in the end as far as what's occurred during the U.S. as far as from the World Cup till now, and simply say, hey, yeah, that was there's some childish moments there, but we're moving on. We want to continue to develop, grow as a team. And I don't know if the idea really at that point is, hey, let's try to, I guess, not mend the fence, but mend things as a whole.
Well,
and the fan base and whatever.
That's a whole nother story, right? So the other story in this interview is that Pulisic takes a shot at Reyna's parents, which he also did not have to do, but he did it. And that seems really purposeful. He basically called Reyna's parents clowns and basically said, you know, what they did was childish, which is actually nice in some ways because childish isn't as bad as like ridiculously disgusting, which would be how I might put it. But childish is nice. But it does sound like that Pulisic is really unhappy with the whole Reyna Berhalter thing, and he's not blaming it on Berhalter, which none of us should, because it was the Reynas who fucked up at this point, but not Gio. So, and he never says Gio. He never mentions Gio's
to some
name
extent, Gio, but then that got rectified. That got fixed.
It did.
And then the whole ordeal that he's talking about here, as far as childish, is the aftermath, if you will.
So we'll have Diego on the next show, hopefully, where maybe he can get into some details about this, and we can talk about like maybe some of the behind the scenes reasons why Pulisic seems to have wanted to do this interview. I think we're probably touching on some of those things here. But
Diego, we want a shout out, man. You get us a video clip of a shout out for the straight red card. Come on, we're gonna be hanging out with Weston and all the crew. Want some Gio shout out and all that shit.
So basically, we covered this whole thing without playing a single part of the video. So I think we're fine to move on. Let's do our 11 and get the fuck off this thing.
Let's not deal with that copyright infringement.
Yes, I'm sorry, folks. It's impossible almost play any video anymore. You just immediately get like, a dildo up the asshole. They're just like, nope, fuck you. Oh, nope, too long. You're fucked. Your show's fucked.
So, Diego, if you have all the details right now, are you willing to spill?
Don't tempt it.
Pushing and prodding.
No, I'm not doing another.
We'll go over our 11. We'll see what happens here.
I'm not
we have some breakout news. Uh-oh. Diego says yes.
All right. Bring him on.
All right, Diego. Link coming your way.
Spilling the beans. If he's going to spill some beans, we'll do it. But
link sent to your DMs, Diego. Let's quickly go. While we're waiting for him to come on, let's go ahead and
do a starting 11.
Yeah. So
starting 11
goalkeepers.
All right. I think Horvath will get the first game. And I think
Horvath too, yeah.
I think Stepan will get the second.
Although Stefan's gonna get the second?
No, not Stefan.
Turner. Yeah.
All right, left back. Can you put the lineup up so I can remember who the fuck's there?
Yeah, it's different. Sorry, it's not showing. I'm looking at my screen like, Derek, why can't you see what I'm showing you here? All right,
all right, left back. If you're not going to play, I think Jedi plays both games. Maybe no, he's tired. He's been playing a whole fucking season.
I wouldn't worry about. I'd probably play Scally, quite frankly.
All right, Scally out left, out right. Let's give Reynolds some time.
Are we going with a B squad completely?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, yeah, it's got to be Reynolds at that point, yeah.
Center backs. Oh, shit. I think he's going to play Tim Ream and whoever else.
I think Ream and probably Robinson is my guess.
Yeah, that would be my guess, too. Unless they really go serious B team, which I don't think you can do with your center backs. No. I think that's
you need some consistency there.
Yeah. Midfielders, we gotta pick 3. Let's see. Who's gonna play for Adams? That'll be Cardoso.
No, here's the big question. Do we play the double pivot? I mean, I guess we can't play it until we find out he does play it. So I guess we have to kind of go with what might be it.
Yeah. Show me a 4-2-3-1, and I'll start believing.
And then we'll start doing it. Yeah.
So otherwise, we're have to stick to the usual dogmatic 4-3-3, and I think it's going to be Cardoso starting out as the holding mid, and then he'll probably fuck around because he's going to give Weston and Musa a break. So probably Sonora and
I almost feel like he's not going to give everybody a B team license here.
Okay, so Luca De La Torre.
Yeah, I think Luca De La Torre and maybe Weston.
You think?
Maybe Musa. Who knows?
It could be Musa, Cardoso, De La Torre, and Musa.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to start Weston in this game. Weston's just got done playing 90 minutes. He's got to be exhausted.
Especially since Diego has specified many times that Weston's not necessarily a 90-minute guy. He's a 65, 70-minute guy. So you throw him in for 90 minutes, and all of a sudden you're like, I mean, he can do it. He did it all World Cup.
Yeah.
At 75, 80 minutes each. But yeah, no, you could give Weston a break there. I mean, I don't think it's necessary to play your complete A squad here, especially midfield.
I think that you could do out wide. You could do because Booth plays outright.
Sure.
But so does Zendejas. That's the tough part. Gio can play anywhere. So you could do Booth out right, Gio out left. And then up top, you could have Daryl DK. And based on the interview process today, it really looks like.
Now, I will say though, I mean, and I guess it depends if you go the complete B squad here, but Mihailovic has been playing left wing for Aze.
He's too late of a call in.
I agree. I'm just saying that he is an actual left midfielder option. But yeah, I think quite frankly, I think whether we play a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3, I think Reyna is absolutely going to be in there.
First game though, already given away because DK and Zendejas were the interview players today.
Yep.
So that's DK up top. That's Zendejas out right.
Better post that shit up like crazy too.
And on the left is going to be Reyna. That would be my guess for game 1.
I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, those are our picks. We might be wrong on some of them, but you never know because I'm not really sure how much B team we're going to go with here. I just heard we're doing B team.
And that's the thing. Hudson might go complete A squad across the board. I mean, it is only 2 games, so who knows? It could be more or less an A squad across the board.
I mean, it's Grenada. We should kick their ass, dude.
Yeah.
We don't need the A team on there to get injured, to get fucked up in some way, trip over a goat patch or whatever. So, I'd say go with the. Although, isn't the first game in Orlando? Or is that the second game?
Here we go. We got Diego live, and I'm guessing Miami is my guess. Or no, you're not Miami. Where you at?
I'm in Miami tomorrow.
You are tomorrow, okay.
You're in LA.
I fly out tomorrow.
Okay. LA today then?
No, I'm in Dallas right now.
Or Dallas, that's right. Why am I thinking you're in LA? All right, that was our last discussion where you're talking about being in LA for a vacation or a visit or whatever. Yeah.
I go to Florida tomorrow. I'm gonna bounce back and forth between Miami and Orlando just because they're gonna go to Grenada for a day or two.
Yeah.
The day before and then the day of the game, and then so I'm gonna just during those days go to Miami. And then I'll come back to Orlando Sunday for their last training and then Monday for the game.
All right, so it is at Grenada, which is a goat patch, and
it's at Grenada. And I just heard the ending. I was putting my hoodie on. I heard the end of it. Yeah, they're going B team for Grenada.
There we go.
Hudson's gonna rotate. He's gonna try something new with the new players. Weston's not there yet because he had 1 day off more than everyone else. It's just like, we don't know why Weston gets a day extra off, but Weston won't be starting against Grenada. At least. That's what his entourage was told. His camp was told that they're going to use him for El Salvador. Grenada's a dude. Sure. It's a dues off, but things can change.
I heard that McKinney took a day off to visit a vineyard in Champagne.
He was in Turin. He went.
He went to Turin. Okay.
You gotta understand, like he still has all his stuff in Turin. He didn't move anything, so
yeah.
He went to go pick up his dog, actually, his little dog.
Oh, he had to leave his dog there?
He has 3 dogs. He has 3 dogs. He took 2 of them to Leeds, and and his little dog, his new one, he has it back home. Someone watching him, so he wanted to pick him up. So,
oh, no shit. That dog's got to be lonely.
Yeah, but it's getting taken care of. But yeah. So he's in Turin. He's on the plane right now. I think he's about to land. I'm pretty sure he's about to land as we speak. But he'll be in training. He'll be in training tomorrow. Don't expect him to play against Grenada. And if he does, it's either a 45-minute cameo, whether he starts or comes off the bench. But no Weston, 90 minutes against Grenada. It's confirmed.
Probably like 20.
Yeah, that's confirmed. Weston is not. But things can change.
Mm-hmm. I don't think Pulisic's going to start either. Do you? You're talking B team.
Hey,
right?
Good transition. Speaking of Christian.
Yes.
Great fucking transition.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Ask away. What's going on? I got on the show because someone DM'd me, said 29. They're talking about Christian. Get on. I was like, all right. So I'm sorry that I'm late, guys. But
where
are we at? What did we say? I saw the last 5 minutes of Christian. So what happened?
The whole thing was that people are saying that Pulisic is now gone from not liking Gregg to endorsing Gregg.
It has nothing to do with Gregg.
And a lot of people are pushing that agenda, like punditry.
That agenda is cheese. The real agenda is Christian Pulisic has a lot of static with Gio-Reyna right now.
Bam!
It's a lot of static going on. They had a good relationship up into Qatar.
Yeah.
Christian did not like the way Gio handled himself. And I don't know if I've ever spoke about whether Christian was one of the players that supported Gio. I think I just said it because from my understanding, they were friends, but new information has came my way that Gio and Christian were not getting along in Qatar whatsoever.
So here's what I can hear, and you may not be able to confirm this or not. What I hear is Gio gave his apology, and Christian stood up and said, "That ain't fucking enough," in his face. Like, that ain't enough. We need more.
I can't confirm that encounter happened, but I mean, 1 + 1 is 2, right? Gio-Reyna and Christian Pulisic were not getting along in Qatar. Christian did not like the way he held himself accountable, or he carries himself in Qatar. I worded that wrong. He didn't like the way Gio carried himself in Qatar. So here's the thing about Christian. Regardless if he wears the armband or not, he is the leader of the team. That's known in the locker room. Christian is the leader of the team. He doesn't wear the armband because he's just a very quiet person, but he's quiet as in like what you see on camera. But he actually does speak in the locker room. He actually is a voice of the team. I think Tyler just has a little bit more charisma, a little bit more pop.
Yeah.
But 1000% Christian is the leader of that team, and he did not like the way Gio carried himself in Qatar. Gio doesn't like how Christian can do whatever with Gregg and get away with it. And basically, I don't mean to call him his bitch, but that's the way Gio sees it. Like, you're Gregg's bitch, but Gregg is your bitch. And I hate to say those words, but that's really how it is. And Christian doesn't like the way Gio carries himself. They don't get along. But here's the real exclusive. That interview was pushed by Christian's father, Mark.
Why?
Because he doesn't like the Reynas.
Oh, wow.
He doesn't like, his agent advised against it. His team advised against it. But his father, Mark, said, do the interview.
And this is an interview where basically he says that Reyna's, Gio's parents are clowns.
Listen, last week when we were on the show, I 1000% thought Gregg, he was talking about the whole situation. Gregg being childish, Gio being childish, Claudio being childish, Daniel being childish. I 1000% stand on the hill. Y'all saw me. I was advising for that. I was advocating for that. I was completely wrong on that. And again, that was just an opinion because I had just seen the interview live in the moment, right?
We had just watched it
live. So I didn't know anything about this interview. And my first instinct is like, well, I know Christian and Gio's relationship. They're cool. Nah, I got new information after that. I looked into it that night, later the next day. Christian and Gio do not have a good relationship right now. Mark pushed that interview. 1000% pushed that interview. That interview wasn't really an endorsement of Gregg. It was more of a let it be known your real feelings about Qatar. It's if I got to pick a side, I'll pick Gregg over Gio because we're not good right now. So that's the real tea behind the interview. It was Christian letting it be known his side.
Well, I mean, you can understand Christian's point to a point because, listen, what he basically is saying is what we all agree at this point. Reyna's parents were a clown show. They fucked up. That was bad what they did. Horribly bad. I mean, calling it childish is nice. What they did was a lot worse than childish. Jesse Negron says, thank you, Jesse, for the $1.99. Do you think their relationship is salvageable? I think is what he's trying to say there.
Yeah, relationships 1000% salvageable. I think they're going to try to smooth it over in Orlando. I know they got together today. Don't know that encounter, but I know they did see each other today for the first time. Like I said, I just tweeted this out earlier. Coincidentally, you will never know two players' relationships with anything with a camera around because you can't let it be known.
Sure,
right.
That was gonna be good. That was gonna be great. That was gonna be good on the field. That was gonna be good in training. But the shit you don't see is what happens in the locker room. Their off-field relationship. At this moment, there is no off-field relationship for Gio and Christian.
I guess this takes me back to a question that Al asked earlier on, as far as what did Pulisic have to gain here?
Nothing.
Because
he wanted his stance to be known.
But I guess ultimately the point would be is that if you are the leader of the team and everything like that, why even have to make that super public. Why not just address that?
Because Mark controls Christian, and Mark does not like the Reynas.
Do you know why Mark doesn't like the Reynas?
It's
Any
your
idea?
superstar son against my superstar son.
Could be.
I don't know why Mark doesn't like the Reynas, but it's very known that Mark and Claudio don't get along. They didn't say one word to each other in Qatar. I had to go back to my sources and ask, like, yo, what's up between Mark and Claudio? And they said never saw them speak to each other, kept their distance, clearly static in the room. A lot of it's very hostile environment, like hostile feelings, uncomfortable, awkward situations when they did have to be around each other. But yeah, they don't get along. And from what I've heard, it was a lot of whisper in their ears between Mark would whisper to other people about Claudio, and Claudio would whisper to other people's ears about Mark the whole time they were in Qatar.
I do believe Mark has a better relationship with Gregg.
1,000%. 1,000%.
At this point,
for sure. At this point, for sure.
I think anybody has a better relationship, Derek.
Yeah, at this point, for sure. But and also, I went back and looked at that interview, and I watched it twice, and I just focused. Listen, that whole interview is a bunch of nothing besides that one part. That interview was so irrelevant. That was the way to cover up for Christian to speak his feelings. Because you don't know, just do an interview for 2 minutes just to talk about the Qatar situation. They had to ask some other bullshit questions to make it look like a real interview.
That was the most real part of it too. Yeah,
yeah, it's the only part that's really relevant. We don't want to know about Chelsea, so we don't give a fuck. You're not even going to be there in the summer. We don't care about that.
Yeah,
as soon as you leave in the summer, which he is going to leave, he already has offers, and Chelsea and Todd has already basically gave a couple teams his word that we'll negotiate in the summer. They want to keep it on the low, but I think I just broke that. Christian's going to be gone in the summer, so we don't care about Chelsea because Christian's gone. So
here's the hypocrisy of this, though, which is kind of funny. But wasn't Mark Pulisic all over the Twitters complaining about playing time for his son?
He did it with Chelsea, and it's funny that now he's complaining about Claudio speaking about it.
So it plays into Chris's comment here. He's like, Pulisic should stop listening to Mark. He's trouble. Yeah. Yes. I mean, and this was brought up whenever the first original 2-minute segment got brought up, and people were quick to point out, well, we're talking about apples and oranges. What Mark did, he liked to tweet. Now, we talked about this actually on the show, and joking around, I had mentioned like Mark was talking with Claudio and he said, Mark was like, yeah, and then I liked the tweet talking about, Pulisic not getting the playing time. And then Claudio was like, you like to tweet? Here, hold my beer. Mm-hmm. And we're talking about two opposite ends of the spectrum, but they're doing the same thing because he mentioned, he goes, it's youth soccer to bitch about playing time. I'm like, well, your dad did the exact same thing. I mean, to a lesser degree, but did the exact same thing.
He still did the same thing as principal, right? Christian, I just read the comments. Christian definitely does not like how Gio made this World Cup. The story at the end of this World Cup wasn't about the USMNT's performance or growth. It was about Gio-Reyna. Christian does not like that. Christian wanted it to be about the team. And, of course, he wanted the spotlight because he is Captain America, the LeBron James of soccer. No one was talking about Christian Pulisic after the World Cup. Nobody.
So,
whether or not his balls were okay.
Christian's camp feels that Gio-Reyna stole his moment for all the wrong reasons.
So Tom says, who the fuck cares if Pulisic's dad pushed the interview? Well, Tom, all I would say is that when you're still in your 20s, depending on your situation, in my 20s, I was out partying and didn't give a fuck what my dad had to say, but they seem to have a pretty close relationship. So
Mark controls Christian's career. I'm just
they are very close, very close.
Yeah, it ain't like Weston with his parents. Weston's parents don't control his career. Tim Weah has a good relationship with his dad. He kind of like helps, but when I say Mark and Christian are like this,
they're like
Mark kind of controls his career. Mark controls his career, kind of like a manager when it comes to business, right? And soccer, but it's pretty big that Mark pushed this interview for Christian because he knows Mark knew what was going to happen. He knew people were going to turn on Gio and his father. Mark got what he wanted. Christian didn't have anything to gain from this. Mark is who had everything to gain from this. It's very selfish of him. And he did it, and he pushed his son to do it, and his agent said no to it, and people around Christian said no to it. But Mark said, listen, you're going to listen to me, and you're going to do this interview, and this is what you're going to say.
This seemed very scripted, this interview.
Very
Especially
scripted because they already knew. A lot of people, I saw the comments, people were saying, do they know what questions are being asked? Yes, the fuck they do. They know what questions are going to be asked.
They were all cleared.
Questions. You have to prove them.
They were all cleared prior to the interview. And that bloviating, bald-headed motherfucker I don't
even know who the fuck interviewed him.
I've never heard of that guy.
I couldn't.
This is the path I'm leading you down. You disagree, okay?
I don't know who the fuck that guy is.
I've never seen that guy or heard of him.
Descended of fucking Northern Ireland or something, but
he's
a cross. He came from. Never seen this man in my life, and I'm always on ESPN. Like never seen this dude in my life.
Kojak and Mussolini.
Dude, they had a Craigslist ad to interview Christian Pulisic, dog. Like, I don't know who the fuck that was.
Never seen the guy.
Never
Larry
seen
says,
dude in my life. Not even sure he's a real ESPN employee. I think he was a fucking he was a paid actor, bro. He was a paid actor because no one at ESPN actually wanted to do this interview.
It's Kojak's lost son that he had some sex with some chick in Northern Ireland. All right, Larry says for $7. Thank you, Larry.
Thank you, Larry.
Claudio should have punched Gregg in the face for playing Morris over his son versus Wales. A broken Aronson all-tourney and not starting over Ferreira. Not sure I understand that.
They want you to rant. My bad if I cut you off. They want you to rant.
They only wanted to rant, Diego, because that means they'll probably get bingo soon. So, as far as Larry's talking about that Morris playing over him against Wales, which my point on that is that was Berhalter's Gio's punishment from Berhalter is that, hey, you're not going to play against Wales.
Yo, I've heard that Christian didn't have a problem with those decisions.
If he's upset with how Gio handled himself, I wouldn't imagine him having a problem.
Yeah, hey, these players. Christian was under the pressure. These players show up every day and they give their full 100% regardless of their place on the team.
And why
Christian says that's rewarded around here.
Why would you feel worried about it? Because the only thing that Reyna's going to do is come in for Weah. And if you're Pulisic, you like playing alongside Weah because he's really good at crossing. And so it's not like, you're going to, if Reyna doesn't play, there's this massive drop off or anything.
And you know what, Brett? Derek, I can't say who. Can't.
Yeah, I know.
I'll tell you off camera. There's players that have lost respect for Christian for doing this interview. I sent this interview to 2 players. I said, bro, what the hell? And they just sent the palm emoji. Shaking my head at Christian.
And then we had Matt.
I say, why you say that? They're like, you know why? Christian don't really move with Gregg like that. But Christian likes that Gregg does whatever he tells him to do. But now it's awkward in the locker room. But they have once again confirmed Christian doesn't really move with Gregg like that. It really doesn't. And he did a whole full 180 just to basically shit on Claudio and Gio.
But
they're like, yo, you really went and advocated for Gregg when you don't even like him that much. All to take a shot at your teammate. That's what they don't like. That's what they lost respect for.
No, I get that. And then we got this Twitter from Matt Doyle from MLS saying, people just don't like it. And actuality, in reality, the vast majority of players love Gregg.
I stand on this fucking hill that I know for a fact from conversations I've had, Christian does not really get along with Gregg that much, but Gregg does whatever Christian tells him to do. And that's about it. Gregg's a yes man to Christian. That's about it.
It's basically he likes the fact that he's been given the keys to the car.
He likes that. He likes that from Gregg, and that's about it. It's kind of like you use your girlfriend for whatever reason, like a girl for whatever reason. That's it. Like I know with this girl, I can get this out of her, so I'm gonna keep her close to me. But do I really like her like that? Nah.
That's kind of what we've been saying the whole show. It's you're gonna keep the girlfriend you have. Because the next one, you don't know what the fuck
you don't know. If
she's got the crazy eyes.
He does. Yeah, that's like that. and 2 players, they said straight up to me, man, in confidence. They're like, "Yo, shaking my head at Christian for doing this."
Yeah,
and they say it might be awkward in Orlando.
It could be. I'm sure.
It could. Like I said, you will never see it on camera. You will never.
No,
see
I'd love to be a fly on the wall.
Tweets. I don't want to see the tweets saying, "Oh, Christian and Gio look like they're fine." No. They're not gonna fucking publicly fight on camera. Like they're not gonna do that. You're not gonna know. They're gonna look fine on camera.
Right.
In the locker room, I'm gonna know what really happens this week. I
well,
promise.
and you know what? This goes like,
Totally,
listen,
it's
if you go all the way back to even high school soccer, when I played high school soccer, where's the whole locker room friends? Fuck no, we weren't. We weren't friends. Not all of us weren't. Some of us hated each other. But we're gonna play alongside each other. But no, do I think Mark Dick's a dick? Yes, I do think he's a dick. No, I'm not in real life, by the way. Mark Dick was a nice guy. I'm just using him as an example because his name
was Dick in name, yeah.
Because his name was Mark Dick, but he wasn't a dick at all. But go ahead.
I was just saying, I remember my senior year, a good friend of mine made it a habit of not ever bringing a water bottle to practice, and he would just go over after whenever it's water break and grab anybody's random water bottle and chug some water. And an underclassman thought it'd be a great idea to decide to go home before practice and piss in his water bottle. And he ended up taking a giant swig of that. So,
that's gross. Well, and then,
sick,
there are all kinds of things that the freshmen had to go through. Like there was this thing called provoke a Duke, where if a guy said you got to take a shit and leave for practice, if you kick somebody hard enough in the ass when they need to take a shit, they'll shit their pants. By the way, that's true. That was called provoke a Duke. By the way, Al Weinstein says for $4.99, Diego, how much of Mark's motivation is post-career employment with USSF? In your
USSF
opinion?
Wouldn't touch Mark with a 12-foot pole right now, bro.
I didn't think so.
Do you think the post-career employment has to do with Pulisic more so than Mark, though?
Listen, I don't know about that, but I know USSF was not cool with that interview, but they had no fucking say in it because Christian is his own entity.
Wow.
But
I mean, why would USSF be upset with it? Because they love them some Gregg.
And this
was pro Gregg.
I'm saying they had no say in this interview. Like it has nothing to do with it. I'm saying I don't whether they're pro it or against it. I'm saying they have nothing to do with it. Christian's his own entity. Like this wasn't a U.S. men's national team interview given in Orlando with their jurisdiction. Like this is in England and Chelsea. Like, you know what I'm saying? They just had nothing to do with it. So
of the 40 minutes, about 15 minutes was Gregg fluffing. 5 minutes was about the World Cup. And then the remaining 20 minutes is him at Chelsea and playing chess, apparently. So it was a weird interview in the sense that the highlight of it was a very short period of time.
The interview was just for an agenda to be pushed.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think it was for Pulisic to assert his leadership. And it might have backfired a little inside the locker room.
Did y'all see how Wes answered the question when he was interviewed at Leeds?
No, I did not catch that.
No, we watched it on here. Remember when someone on interviewed Wes when he got to Leeds?
Oh, when he got to Leeds.
Yeah, when he got to Leeds, where he was in the stadium doing that interview, where they asked him about the head coaching job.
Yeah,
and you'll have to remind me because I don't recall.
How when it just said we can kind of get any coach in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a pretty good core. So
that's kind of a point that Pulisic made too.
He did kind of say that, but
Weston didn't advocate for Gregg whatsoever.
Yeah.
That's a stark difference. Yeah.
No, big difference. West was just like, listen, get us any coach in here, and we're gonna make something shake because we're just that talented.
Yeah,
that's kind of saying like Weston is saying Gregg really doesn't move the pieces. We do it on our own because we're just that talented. Christian made it seem like, Gregg is behind the scenes making everything happen. Well, we had so many strides under Gregg. We had so many, and Weston's saying our strides came through our own skill set, our own,
Yeah. And
so completely two different spectrums with Weston Christian's.
Yeah, I hear you.
Plus, it kind of made it sound like that the atmosphere that Gregg built
is like what got him over.
Developed that chemistry.
Developed
that chemistry and made him to where they were. Come to
and West is saying, we're just good. It ain't really have anything to do with the coach. You can throw in your local Sunday league coach, and we still gonna make the quarterfinals of the World Cup.
Yeah, and I made the comment earlier. Is like, well, the fact is that between two different cycles of youth development, the vast majority of these players all played together for like a number of years, decades. Yeah. So it's not like
chemistry.
They're not coming into this like, hey, I'm Weston McKinney. Hi, I'm Tyler Adams. They've known each other for a long time.
Yeah, I think this gets down again. We go back to the same metaphor. Let's say there's a group of 7 porn actors and actresses, and they are really good at what they do, right? And they've had the same director for years and years, 2 years. Bruce Seven. Let's say it's Bruce Seven. Great, not a great producer of porn, but a good one, and they're making money. And then Bruce dies of a heart attack, and you got some new guy showing up to be the producer, and you're like, what's this guy going to ask us to do? We're good at what we do. We don't need a new, anything special. We just need Bruce Seven back. So give him resuscitation and bring him back in here and get behind the cameras. So we don't need, that's what Pulisic's saying, basically. He's happy to stay the same because he knows what he's got right now, and he doesn't want to experiment with he doesn't
want his spot to be challenged. His spot under Gregg is not challenged. He don't.
Right.
Kevin Paredes could end up being world class, and Christian would still start.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That, under Gregg.
Well,
you bring in someone else. Christian might not be promised the starting spot.
What if Taylor Booth blows up? What if Zendejas continues to play really well and Pulisic's career slowly takes a dive?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Christian Pulisic's career has kind of been stagnant for the past couple of years. He blossomed really early. I think we all saw that at Dortmund. Kind of been stagnant besides a couple of big game cameos.
Good start with Chelsea, but then
He also suffered a strain of injuries there too, though.
He's had
that definitely played a factor.
But that injuries are a part of your career. If
they
are a player that's injury prone, it is what it is. That's what I'm gonna take you as. You're not reliable. So he's had a couple big moments at Chelsea, Champions League, that game against Liverpool, but career kind of been stagnant. And if someone like Kevin Paredes or Booth just skyrocket, what do you do at that point? You play your best 11, and Christian knows if Gregg is there, he'll always be a part of the best 11, even if he's not the best 11.
Yep.
Well, and he even talked about in the interview, he's like, "Yeah, I know my role at the team is not necessarily to score 10 goals a game and lead the team forward. And I've got a part I've got to play and stuff like that."
That's confusing to me because don't you want your wingers to be scoring wingers?
Well, and what's funny is that all through the cycle, Derek and I have been preaching hardcore as far as Pulisic's game plan. Like when he played last cycle with the cycle that we failed and didn't qualify for.
Yeah, 2018.
He was the leading goal scorer for that cycle, and assister, I think, actually, quite frankly. And he did that all as a bit character on the sideline, almost ignored by the opposition, and he came in and did all those things. Now, when he's actually the leader, he tries to do too much. And I think over the course of the cycle, he figured this out, that he's much more successful when he doesn't try to do the hero ball that we have all been preaching against.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things, It's just
all right.
That's the issue.
At 2 hours and 8 minutes into the show, I think we're going to end it. Hey, Diego, thanks for coming on, popping on, and giving us that.
Dude, someone DM'd me and said, "Diego, go on the straight red card." So I came in with an hour 30. I was like, "What's going on?" They're like,
I know. We were like, "Dude, we're about to wrap this show up."
Someone said they were like 29. Please come on straight red card. So I was like, "What's going on over there?" So I clicked on that. I started talking about Christian. I said, "Oh, perfect timing." Because I've been texting and DMing with Tack and Herc about this shit, but I was like, "Fuck it, listen, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna tell y'all the truth, man. Christian, that was a big no, man, and it might have some repercussions. It might not. I don't know, but I know the locker room's about to be very awkward this week. I'm gonna go to Orlando. I go tomorrow. I'm gonna find out. Yeah. I'm gonna have lunch with a couple of the dudes. I'm actually gonna see Gio. I already got that set up. I'm gonna link up with him. No cameras, none of that. But I'm gonna get some insight of him. Listen, if I had some big media platform to do an interview, I would do that, and I'm working on that. I am launching a media company in the summer. I'm just gonna insert that in, and I'm gonna be doing a podcast with a bunch of big name athletes, artists, music artists, and just influencers. And that's
you need a soccer show for that fucking platform.
It's everything. It's all. I'm just using my resources to what's the word? Monetize.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm gonna
monetize it,
start
yeah,
monetizing my resources to in a different aspect, like media. People can keep asking me, like, Diego, you're always hanging out with these big name players or big name celebrities. Why don't you start a podcast? And I got an offer for it, but I said, nah, I don't. I'm gonna do it when I'm ready.
Hey,
I don't want to be owned by another. I don't want to be owned by anyone. I'm my own entity.
I get it. I get it. That's why we do this the way we
so
do. But
I have a 3,000 square feet studio being built right now in Dallas, and I'm gonna make it the studio for my podcast, and I'm launching that this summer.
dude,
You'll
sweet
you'll see Weston on there, and then you'll see a lot of the artists that I mingle with in life and nightlife. And
hey, just have a little side click on the button, the straight red card. So
I'll link you guys up there, man. But that is my plans in the summer. Had I launched it in March, I would have. Honestly, I'll be real with you. I think I'm one person to get an interview with Gio. I think he would do it, just because me and his entourage just have a good relationship, and I've kind of been advocating for Gio and protecting Gio on Twitter. I think he would have given it to me. And if I asked him, I think his dad and him and his agent would have signed off on it. But I don't have the platform for it, and I think I'm the only person they feel comfortable doing it with. So, but
man,
I might get it in the summer. I might get it at Nations League. I might get that interview in Nations League.
Well, you're always welcome here as long as you give us some sort of heads up.
Man, I can't listen. Like I said, I was texting and messaging with Herc and Tyke about this, man. But I said, when I got that DM about you guys being on live right now and talking about it, I said, let me give it to my favorite boys.
Exclusive,
And so, all of it confirmed, man. I text with these people around close to both camps, and that's the word on the street. It's going to be awkward in Orlando.
Dude, you know what?
Hopefully they hammer shit out, though, man.
At some point, how much water can you put under the bridge so it starts to overflowing?
Yeah.
And I think the overflow has begun.
I found it a little frustrating watching some other shows earlier this week or late this weekend who were talking about certain situations that you and I and Brett had already talked about in detail and had cleared up the story, only to see them repeat things that were not right in their show. And I thought, man, all you got to do is watch the show and you would have got all that info already.
We know who watches us.
What
the
happened?
fuck?
Wait. Can you repeat that part? I was reading the comments. What happened?
No, there was stuff you told us on the last show that clarified a lot of issues and things that happened.
Just watch the show.
But people were still out there giving information that's incorrect. We're if you would have just watched this show, you would have gotten it.
Brett, people still discredit me, even though I can call any player's manager or agent and get the 411 on them and be like, yo, let's say Christian, God forbid any player gets hurt tomorrow. God forbid any player gets hurt in this camp. Mm-hmm. If they did get hurt, I can call Tim Weah's camp right now and find out what's going on with him. You know, like I could have told you he wasn't going to be a part of the roster after that injury and live. And I could have told you exactly what happened with him. You know, like I could have just called his camp and said, what's up with Tim? But like, I can do those things, but people still discredit me. I call Weston and say, yo, what's going on? Well, I can ask Weston for his location right now. Like, are you in Orlando yet? Are you still in Milan? He will tell me where he's at. Like, I can text Gio, how you feeling? He'll tell me how he's feeling. People still discredit me, even though I have those resources and those connections. Like, they just still discredit me. But I think I've won over a majority of USMNT Twitter at this point. Honestly, I'm at 90%.
Funny.
I think I'm always going to have that 10% that just discredits me and doesn't move with me just because envious, jealousy, and they don't want to believe that I have these connections. But I have these connections just personal relationships. I don't have these these connections as an agent or a media guy. No, I'm just a guy that got introduced to that circle because I'm Weston's boy. And then after that, I decided to take advantage of it and expand my horizon within the USMNT, and that's it. And I got cool with the agents, with other players, with the managers, with the families. Here's the thing, I see the families a lot because at the games, the families sit together. It's the area. Like, what better way to get close to someone's family member than at the game mingling with them? If you guys want to know my truth to this, I go to the games and I sit in the family section, and guess what? I meet the parents and the brothers and the sisters and the cousins and all that, and we become cool, and they trust me with things. That's the truth behind it.
What's funny, Derek, is that our good friend on Twitter, Alec Eiffel, Alec Dane, he had clipped Diego talking about saying the quiet part out loud when Diego had mentioned that, the agents come to
the friends of
the players, and they push their narrative or whatever. They push
and they can deny it. Weston can deny anything I've ever said just because, oh shit, Diego backfired on me. I got to deny our relationship. Now he can do that.
Yeah,
and anyone can do that. But that's what agents do. They go to the people around their players, and they say, "Hey, can you send out this tweet? Can you start pushing this agenda?" They do that, bro. I'm gonna be real with you. And here's the thing: I'm not only close to soccer players. I have friends in the NBA, NFL. I have friends all over the place, and they do that. NFL players, their friends. NBA players, their friends. They push narratives on Twitter and Instagram all the time. It's just, I guess it's new to US fans, soccer fans. It's
the quiet part. Everybody knows about it, but nobody says anything about it. But it's funny because he posted that, and of course Diego liked it, and he's like,
I liked it.
Hey, it looked really good in this clip, man.
And I'm like, he picked it great. I had just got my fade. I got my hair cut. I look good with the black hoodie. And I saw the thread there, and he was like, I actually respect 29 because he's very honest about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But I told Alec, I go, hey Alec, what show is this from? I might want to sit down and watch it this weekend. And
he never responded to me. Straight red card, man. I'm honestly
Alec,
if you're gonna appreciate.
Clip our show and tell us that, hey, this.
I know he didn't want to give you the insert, the promotion.
No, Alec actually likes this.
I like Alec, man. He has his own agendas, man, but he's never disrespected me. He does call me anon like guy, but I don't take that as disrespect. He just thinks I'm some mysterious guy that goes by a mysterious number. I'm like, dude, I was just born on the 29th. There's nothing mysterious about it, bro. But
yeah, we've had our arguments.
Man. I really like this channel. I want to tell you guys, I really like this channel, man. It's one of my favorite ones.
Make sure you share the show in your tweets.
I got you.
Alec is pretty funny, and I actually have a lot of fun back and forth with him.
Yeah, he'll go back and forth with you. That's what I like about him. And he doesn't get disrespectful. Some of these other guys on Twitter, they get very disrespectful and start calling you out of your name and calling you a liar and a scam and all. I don't like that. But if you can just go back and forth with me about real insights, I'll do it. But if you want to just disrespect me and call me out my name, I'm not gonna engage with you, man. I don't got time for that, bro.
The worst thing I ever said to Alex is, "Why are you waxing your dolphin so vigorously on this issue?" That's as bad as I ever got with Alex. So and he laughed at it, so that was good. So he knew I was kind of kidding without calling him anything.
He gets our show. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
I just want him to give us our due, on that. Here's a clip from the red card. Come on.
Yes. All right. I think we're going to end the show here. Thank you for Diego for coming on last second, brother. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man. You guys, Brett, Derek, you guys really are my favorite channel for USMNT. I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. You guys are real and genuine. You guys are real and genuine.
We're going to promo. That's going to be our promo propaganda.
We're going to make that our promo.
Man, you guys push the 29 propaganda too, and I like it. You guys are all about 29. I always see Derek and Brett. I always see the Straight Red Count Twitter always praising me and saying, "No, 29, that's our guy. That's a good guy." I love that. I love to see it, man.
Well, Derek's already got us banned from U.S. men's national team, so what more damage can we do?
Oh, well, that was 15 years ago, so we'll get
Brett's
over
always
that.
on the account. Just whenever I'm on the show, he always defended my name and said we heard 29. And J2, Jay Hernandez, man, Tack. Those are my boys, man. They're good people, man. They always defend my name. They don't tarnish it. I've shown them stuff that you wouldn't believe, and they're like, "Yep." I mean, you can't show this to other people, but I show it to them, and they're like, "Yep." You're always gonna be good with us. Just like the conversation we have off camera.
That's what I was about to say.
I know you guys can't ever express them.
We're not going to, but
I know, but you guys yep. That's just that shit. That's the insight that no one else is gonna give you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I have a different insight into these things, man.
Earlier in the show, I said, you know what? The more you talk to him off camera, the more believable it is, the more believable it is, to the point where it's like, okay, this guy is totally 100%. Like if people could hear what you tell us off air, they'd be like, "Oh, fuck that shit.
But
it's over."
If we spoke on air about what we speak off air, we'd break Twitter.
No, we'd be fucked.
We would. If you guys heard our conversation last week off camera, we would break Twitter. That thing I told y'all, would break Twitter. It would fucking break Twitter.
It would.
Also, shout out Zach Steffen, man. That's my brother. I'm gonna see him this week. Can't wait to link up with Zach Steffen, man. I'm glad he's back in camp.
Give him our love.
Hey, Zach Steffen's gonna start on against Grenada, 1,000%.
Okay, I like that.
We guessed Horvath,
but I like your call.
I think Zach's getting the nod. I talked to him earlier today, and he said he's feeling good, and he might play that game against Grenada. But Zach Steffen's gonna play a game, though. Believe that he's gonna play a game. And I think I'm pretty sure Matty's going against El Salvador. So I think
so
Zach Steffen, go ahead and pin it right now. Put your house on it. He's playing against Grenada. We had a good conversation today earlier.
Yeah, I like that. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So we're going to say goodnight. Thank you for all of you who came here tonight to watch us. And, of course, Diego showing up, which is fucking awesome. Hey, by the way, if you're going to plan a party, just know if you go to Dave & Buster's, the food is good, but hanging out there,
man, listen,
it's stinky, smelly,
I've gotten
disgusting.
so many DMs. I've gotten so many DMs about please keep Wes out of the part at the clubs this week. Please, listen, we're not going out. We're not doing none of that. Me and Wes had a long conversation. We're not really doing these distractions this season, man. We got to grind. We got to focus. And
this spawned from Dave & Buster's. So you guys going to?
Hey, Dave & Buster's is cool though. We might go a little bit bowling, a little bit of all that good stuff. It might take you up on that offer. But
all those games were broken at Dave &
but
Buster's.
listen. It's Monday night though. Things might get ratchet in Orlando if they qualify to the Nations League finals. That's all I'm gonna say.
Could be a party.
That's after business is handled. That's after business is handled.
Okay. Well, until the next time on the Straight Red Card, if you're going to groom somebody, don't literally groom them while they're asleep at night, and especially in the nutsack area. That'll get you in trouble. And we'll see you on Thursday.
She's a trap, she's an unsung novel, turn a lap and get your whole world dazzled on a line, or a phone call with or without wine.
You're gonna do her. Yeah.
Oh no!